Yes.
Gavin, what's up?
Yep, Gavin. And we're talking about what reading this week's comics. Like, since we're in the end of the year, but Gavin wanted to join me to the discussion. And Junior Clark, we distribute the works and some other stuff that came out this week. So, what do we start?
I guess I'll talk about the Bendis books that I've been reading, the
Yeah.
Superman Bendis.
Yeah.
I said, actually, the thing is, call me crazy, but the first volume wasn't bad. I mean, I'd say the first two issues were actually pretty good because it really defined, it gave you the basics of Superman, the whole, fighting, the whole truth, justice.
Yeah.
But I want to say issue 6, the last page, of course, with Jonathan Kent all aged up, was really weird.
That's what pissed me off. That's why I got mad.
Yeah. I mean, it's still something that's just kind of weird because I grew up with, not grew up, but I really got into Action Comics when Dan Jurgens did all that.
Agreed.
And I felt...
Agreed. The Dan Jurgens one, that's fantastic. From Rebirth, next to Tomasi.
Yeah. I felt Jurgens' run was pretty good.
Yeah, I did see it. That dude looks like amazing.
Yeah, my favorite volume has to be the Revenge story arc where Zod and the Revenge Squad fight Superman.
Yep.
Mainly because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sucker for Zod stories. I just feel he's underutilized and always like seeing him in comics.
Yeah.
And
yeah, back. I'm back.
All right. Let's see if I can
the thoughts that might have been fantastic in my opinion. Action Comics. In fact,
yeah.
My favorite show then was when Tomasi and Rebirth.
Yeah. My favorite storyline from Tomasi Superman was Black Dawn, without a doubt.
I go Black Dawn
because I felt it was the Action Comics 775 issue, but expanded upon, and I liked how it challenged Superman's morals.
I think I'm a Nightfall story and Spider Blue people all the time. Yeah, Nightfall is good, so Spider Blue, and yeah, both are really good.
I'd say Nightfall. I'm all right with Nightfall.
Yeah. I mean, did I know what's the anime before? Oh, sorry, continue.
Oh, it's all right. No, I just felt Nightfall personally dragged on for me. I mean, I have the 3 old volumes from 2012, and
yes.
I don't know. The thing is, I'm very picky with my stories. Like, I don't like them too short. I don't like them too long. I like them in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Like my favorite Batman story of all time is Batman Hush.
Yeah, speaking of Batman Hush, they did a movie that sucked.
Yeah, I was disappointed with it because that's something I was talking about for years. Like, they should do a movie of Hush.
Yeah.
And I saw it.
That ain't reveal.
Yeah.
Why? It's so stupid.
It is. Like,
sorry.
That's not good. I did like the fact that they, because Jeff Loeb's original pitch was like showing Catwoman and Poison Ivy kiss. And I thought it was pretty neat that they added that in the animated movie because that was Jeff Loeb's original idea to show that.
Mm-hmm.
But the censorships at the time was like, we can't show that.
Yeah, stupid. Did they do Let's Anime before? I feel like I saw. Yeah, they actually did do a Let's Anime. Well, it was more a motion comic that they adapted for Let's Sun.
That story I haven't read yet.
Yeah, the story's really good. Benedetto shuts everything. I agree. Civil War should be good. Civil War, the anime is greater than the anime. Well, that's not true. Anime Civil War could work in theory, but Dead or Born Again, now they're adapted, so to speaking, for during the Netflix theater show. take up a show, and shows and not be canceled. But back on track.
Oh, there you go. I got the video on.
Yep, nice.
Yeah, I know. I look different than I sound. My voice sounds weird on like mics and stuff.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll show you. I have some of the books here set up right now. Here's the two
Nice.
Bendis books.
Nice.
I got the paperback. It was a buy two get one free at the Second and Charles, so that's why I was like, I'll get these.
Yeah.
I got the new edition of Hush because I wanted to get the new edition for a while.
Nice.
And then for all seasons,
Similar to a better book. Similar to. Oh, sorry.
oh, that's all good. Here you go first, man. What were you saying?
For my good friend Edgar, Iron Knight Gaming. Similar to the bad book. Similar to my opinion is interesting, but I got to disagree with that. But concept wise, it would execute. I don't know.
I do have to say with Civil War 2, the characters were more in character than the first one because I didn't like how the first one, Tony Stark just becomes a psycho for no reason.
Yeah, I agree with that. But then Captain Marvel turned the villain. What turned Captain Marvel the villain? I beat Iron Man because of Ulysses. What was my Ulysses again? I forget. Where's one with the don't read one with it just garbage.
Yeah, that almost ruined Spider-Man for me.
Well, it still was one the solid read, but back on track.
Yeah.
Ben is Superman my ability or the minute they got John, I was pissed. Because he took the my favorite character, and then you pick up bullshit. Like, why? Like, why eat them up? You didn't need it. Eat them up. It didn't make sense. Like,
yeah,
so,
I thought it was dumb. I don't think it was necessarily so much Bendis as it was editorial, because if I'm correct, I heard from on Comic Pop's channel that Peter J. Tomasi was fighting tooth and nail to keep the whole Superman family thing.
Yeah.
And I think when Bendis wanted that idea, they just jumped on board.
Yeah, and then said, do it how he wants.
Yeah.
The result? Stupid.
Yeah.
Like 18 issues of stuff to get to the point you ate up John, you put it with your superheroes, and I'm trying to do and I ate up forever. Thanks a lot. You ate up my favorite John, and you took my super sound my favorite book. Back. Hang on a sec.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I got to do ICU. ICU Omnibus.
I didn't know they made that. I might have to try to get that now.
Yeah. It's my other favorite series. And the series all four probably breaks my heart. Because I love this book. This book is amazing.
Well, thanks a lot. Now you had me spending more money.
Well, yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah.
I have a lot of books, actually. Hold up, see if I can see. There's my bookshelf.
Nice.
It's actually getting a little lot. I'm going to have to get a new bookshelf because there's a bunch of books down here.
Someone here quite more than I do. Here in the Crisis, I agree that a complete clusterfuck. Yeah.
Heroes in Crisis was just weird.
You're just bad. It made no sense to a War West fan like me.
I think that's just comics is Tom King's therapy. It's like, he instead of writing in a journal like Rorschach, he just does it publicly on comic books.
Yeah. Super Santa go to Weaver. I wish you been able to go to Weaver one, but Anthony in DCU for fell apart. But anyway, back on.
All right.
I think I gotta agree the Valentine I think it was a bad idea, but that is a different topic another day, and frankly, we'll be here all day if we tell that at Minefield.
Yeah. I was saying the first volume, issues 1 through 6, I have to say the pacing was not bad.
Yeah.
But then you get to issue
7, 8, and 9.
yeah, with this one, and it's just like they could have cut the entire crime syndicate part out, and the story would have been done better.
They made no sense. Like, what the hell? Like, one, the crime syndicate didn't exist. We saw them die at the end of at the end of Darkseid War. They all die. How are they still alive? Answer: we have no idea.
I'm sorry, Dr. Manhattan's blue dong can't bring them back to life.
Which ain't possible. We saw them all die. Like, I know. John Quick died in Forever Evil. Atomica died in Forever Evil. Ultraman survived Forever Evil. Then he died in Darkseid War. Metron was not part of the concept, but Metron was New God. He died. Owlman died. Grid. Actually, we knew they were having a Grid. I know Grid went into Metron's chair, then that went nowhere. And Superwoman, she died because of Grail. I think that all of them. If I'm going my memory here. Powling, after he died. Powling died, but then he actually came back, kind of, sort of. He came back in this book in a sense. We saw that in Forever Evil. Like, why?
Yes.
How is it alive in this book? I don't get the logic.
Well, Bendis is pretty well known for just ignoring continuity.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for Power Ring dying, Jessica would have never got that lantern ring.
Yeah.
And Green Lanterns.
Yeah, and we saw both of them actually died at the end of Darkseid War, so it didn't make any sense. All these people should be dead. They should not be alive.
Mm-hmm.
But then Bendis to get him a call. So yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do how I want. Translation. I don't care about this book anymore. I care to do my own story. Okay, it's one to your own story. Fine, but tell the continuity. Stop changing the continuity. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Oh. Speaking of doesn't make any sense. I want to go on the Ozark stuff. You took away one of the best things about Ozark. You brought back Joel, which shouldn't be impossible. We saw Joel die at the end of the Ozark.
Yeah.
We saw that man took him away at the end of Ozark. Why is he back in Superman book? It didn't make any sense.
They don't explain it. That's the weird part. When I read the Man of Steel series, the fact that Jor-El comes back and they don't explain it, that's what irked me, is because it's, if you're going to do a run on a character, I emailed Marv Wolfman and he emailed me back to me. He's like, if you ever want to do like a character, he's like, always read the run before yours so you know what's going on.
Yeah.
You don't try to just do your own thing. It's like, you can do your own thing, but make sure to respect the previous run.
Yeah, which I respect that, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and Bendis disrespected the previous run and ignored quite a bit of things.
Yeah, ignored both Danger and both Tomasi's run by far away, and for my favorite character John on the bus. What nonsense! Speaking of stuff that came out this week, We the Super did come out this week. I read that issue. It wasn't that bad, but it doesn't make any sense because I don't get the logic.
Oh, what comic is it?
We the Superheroes. If Ben really got down to your technique, why didn't you take him to court? I have no idea.
I guess it's the paycheck that talks. He'll take the paycheck and he'll.
Your book once you decide the fact that it's no longer some truth of a fan very bitter. And why could be out why won't you back and take a final review achievement? Well, to be fair, you do make a good point. I do agree with him on that one, but since I know, I still don't think I don't. Then better might be actually doing any. New 52 better.
I have to say the New 52 handled certain characters better than Rebirth. Like Justice League Dark, I felt the New 52 Justice League Dark was much better handled.
Yeah.
Because the one in DC Rebirth, it feels like they're adding characters just to make up for it, but you already have an all-star cast like Zatanna, John Constantine.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
What do you thought Jessica with Teen Titans storyline? Wait, what's it? Even the anime movie? The anime movie I thought was but the story itself I think was good. Wait, if the anime movie just bad.
I haven't seen the animated movie.
It's decent. Well, I don't know. Do you know at the time when Batman comic, but Tony can't find you? Yeah, I did see that. And thank God that one is over. So we're managed by end.
I have to say the first 50 issues or 46 issues were pretty good.
I agree.
Of Tom King's.
I agree.
And
they were fantastic.
When he did the fake out at the wedding thing, you could tell that he was just doing this just to drag the story on so he can get more money and do 100 issues.
Yeah, I agree. Because issue 50 with what the fuck was the name of the con for me, because you put up over the wing, you give a wing, and then that happens. I Jessica Dog, I like Jessica Dog Rebirth and Jessica Dog Bob and Rebirth, but New 52 Jessica Dog, I will agree, is good. I probably with Jessica Dog over New 52, in my opinion. Animal Man was good, New 52, I'll give it that. Animal Man Swamp Thing was excellent. But other than that, a lot of books, not so much. But that's another topic.
Yeah. I just felt, I think the only bad thing about the New 52, in my opinion, was just Superman personally. I just didn't like the take.
Bad. Yeah.
I mean, my favorite eras of Superman, honestly, is John Burns from 86 to 88. The first half of the Jurgens run from the 90s.
Yep.
The Jeff Johns run in Action Comics from the 2000s. And then the Jurgens run from 2016 to 2018.
Yep.
I just felt those are pretty much the best runs because they really they just understood Superman. You know, some people don't understand Superman, some people do. And pretty much I think the basic thing about understanding Superman as a character is, number one, he has to have his morals from Ma and Pa Kent. Once you get that settled, then you have to know this is pretty much an immigrant who's, from a destroyed planet and he's trying to fit in with society. And don't make him sad like the Zack Snyder movies.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, I did read about that story. That was fun.
No, I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, I think it was a one shot. Then Tom King Wild West.
Yes.
Here's the thing about that. I mean, it's more Tom King. I think it's more Danny Deal. It's more Danny Mandate. Tom King wrote the story, but you can tell that story was sabotaged. Danny did one while in that story. And I was suspicion that if the original plan for Her to Cry would not be a murder mystery, I think it would be a more psychological story, which, in hindsight, I'm on board it. That could have worked. In theory. Execution-wise, it was sabotage and murder. If they want a murder mystery story, fine. But don't make war with the killer. That's a bad idea. I think like Man. Oh, you mean Man of Steel the movie? I can't say that. In fact, I'm glad you like Man of Steel more than
Man of Steel, I didn't mind.
Yeah. I know.
Or is it really only one kind of Superman?
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty much. There's.
Yeah.
I think probably the best basis for any Superman is right here for all seasons. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
I gotta say that.
This is unequivocally Superman. Tim Sale's is pretty much artwork is very like Norman Rockwell like.
Yeah. I've been talking to good when it gets a cut. Yeah, I could agree with that. Tom King is a good writer. As I mentioned before, my previous stuff with Tom King. I don't think a bad writer. I think the problem in general, when he does an ongoing series, it goes to shit because, let's face it, Tom King cannot handle like ongoing stories. I think he can handle only like main miniseries or weekly series. Well, not weekly, more miniseries in general. Ongoing, not so much. Maybe it's my opinion.
Have you read For All Seasons, by the way?
No.
Oh, it's pretty cool. It's basically, it takes place in the Man of Steel continuity from '86, but it takes place in 4 seasons, and each season is narrated by someone in Superman's life. One is narrated by his father. Other one is Lois. The third one
Mhm.
is Lana Lang, and then one of them is Lex Luthor. And they
Nice.
all, pretty much talk about different aspects of who Superman or Clark is as a person. And I think it does a really good job. You get a lot of good action. Um,
Mhm.
Again, the artwork is beautiful. See if I can try to get to this one page real quick. Might have a tough time doing it with one hand, but it's a sunset
Yeah,
that
that's
they
okay.
do. Where is it? Here it is.
Nice. Oh, that's beautiful. That is awesome.
Yeah. And Tim Sale draws Superman like a lot like the Golden Age Superman. So I can get to yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. And this is probably one of my favorite Superman stories of all time because you don't have to read anything before or after it.
Yeah.
It's a one and done.
My Superman animated series.
Yeah, it's actually Jeff. This is definitely heavily inspired by that too.
Nice. Did you call it on to you call it on to Earth? Yeah, I did see that. Both.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like both of them. Both are really good.
James Woods' Owlman was funny.
Yeah, he was awesome. Well, Man of Steel, I think he's gonna find himself. And the point of the movie with over PBS. That was just a clusterfuck of a mess. I do own that movie, even just because they picked up a lot of that movie, but yeah,
Well, I don't really necessarily think he was like sad, but it wasn't.
Wasn't that good.
No, I just say I think when like Clark's trying to fit in, it's handled better in the Donner movies. Personally,
Agreed. Yeah.
That may be nostalgia talking, but I just felt it's God,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find good words. I'm not good at finding words sometimes. I think it should be done with like when Clark just asks a simple question, "Who am I?" When he asks Jor-El, "Who am I?" That's a good example of him trying to fit in. But a bad example of him trying to fit in is like J. Michael Straczynski's Superman Earth 1.
To be fair, I mean that's really bad, but it's okay. What do we fall I haven't read it yet.
Definitely read it, man. It's really good.
I highly recommend it.
The tornado scene for Man of Steel is actually taken from this.
It is?
Yeah, except Paul Kent doesn't die in this, obviously.
Yeah, we are stupid.
But that tornado scene is in this.
I said that tradition was 4 minutes. Yeah, I agree. That does make total sense. Superman Anime. Yeah, Superman Anime, it's fantastic. I mean, one night. I've seen Gargoyle. I have seen Captain Planet a long time ago. I don't know Captain Planet have not aged that well at all.
Captain Planet is kind of it's a guilty pleasure because I used to watch that as a kid.
Same.
And then I rewatched it. I was like, huh.
Yeah. It's a clusterfuck. Well, yeah, it's a clusterfuck indeed.
Well, the big problem is that movie tried to catch up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
And if they would have just went the same pace as the MCU and not try to push it all into just 2 movies, I think it would have succeeded better.
Yeah, agreed. In fact, in my opinion, I think that should have been better. They should not rushed it.
When I picked this up too, Doomsday Clock.
Doomsday Clock. Nice.
Yep.
Awesome.
My first time reading 1 through 6, by the way.
Yeah. Man, should have been. I understand. I agree.
I do have to say,
movie.
I will have to say, Henry Cavill is probably the best Superman since Christopher Reeve.
I agree. Henry Cavill, my man, is awesome Superman. In fact, despite the flaw with Man of Steel, I'll give him movie credit. Henry Cavill is a great actor. I think he could play good Superman. The flaw on Window, I think, is with the writer David is Goyer and Snyder. They two really great out there, and they give him what he's given. And like I said, the Henry Cavill Superman department is they. With the DCU, they rushed it, and They did it dub, and then Justice League dub, and then that's a mess.
Well, I have to say, Man of Steel, I didn't hate it.
Maybe it's a good movie by Paul, but I think BBS was just going to get even Harley Quinn movie that made. I agree with that.
What Wavestorm said it perfectly because yeah, I mean it is a good movie and it's not the best Superman movie, but it certainly isn't the worst by far. Like I could watch it and actually watch it all the way through.
Yeah, same here. We actually had a simple plot. It's not confusing.
I've only been able to finish Superman 4 once, and
Yeah.
I've only been able to finish Superman Returns once.
Superman 4 is just bad. You can tell there's no budget.
Well, the thing is, I understand what Christopher Reeve wanted to do with that movie, but it just, like you said about execution, it wasn't executed well.
Yeah.
Like even Tom Sakowitz, I think that's how you say his name. He even warned Christopher Reeve, "Don't do a movie like this, Chris." But Chris really wanted to, do that movie, and he's like, best of luck to you, Chris.
I expect. I expect him to willing to tell a story. That's good, but I didn't afford the movie on the budget. Right, you can tell they're run by a studio that did not give a budget, not give a damn, and they rushed it, which is sad. I said when catch it, they should. Yeah. Good. Yeah, but I agree.
And I'll tell you another example of them rushing stuff. I'm a horror movie fan. I love horror movies, and they did Halloween 4, and that was called The Return of Michael Myers.
I actually heard about that.
That movie did so well that within, I want to say, only like 2 weeks after Halloween 4 was released in theaters, they went right to Halloween 5, and they rushed it. Like they were doing the script as they were filming the movie, so it wasn't even finished, but they were still filming scenes. They're like, "Who is this? Who's the man in black? What's the tattoo?" And they'll go, "Oh, we'll explain the 6th movie." Well, the 6th movie didn't come out till like 5 years later.
Yeah.
89, 91. Yeah, 5 years later.
Yeah, and you can tell that movie was rushed, and they rushed it for good bullshit, but it's a mess.
Just movie making in general is a mess.
Yeah, well, that Hollywood in general. Okay, but that one, Warner was pushing them.
It definitely was Warner Brothers. Yeah, Warner Brothers really wanted to. Extremely Warner. That's mainly because it's an origin movie, and a lot of moviegoers don't care for origin movies that much anymore.
Which is fine. With Irish, I get that. But I'm tired of origin stories too.
I mean, it's like, how many times are you going to see Thomas and Martha Wayne die?
Too many. Or how many did Uncle Ben die? Oh wait, they did like two. Wait, but you don't do that. I forget. Wait, it was Spider-Man 1. They did it. Spider-Man 2. We didn't see it, thank God. It was awesome. Spider-Man 3. They did the retcon and
they did the flashback.
Which, to be fair, with the flashback, I think that idea could have worked. It just Sony took that movie and messed it up. But then ASM happened, and it sucked. Which
love Superman Returns. I agree with him. I mean, in terms of if I had to pick a Superman 3 to watch, I think I would pick Superman Returns over Superman 3.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Superman Returns at the it's not that bad. But well, I'm alone. For this year, I don't say more than consent. I can agree with that. You don't do the order, you don't like the cutters. True. You're right with that, Edgar.
Alright, sorry about that.
Continue.
Okay, sorry about that. I just had to talk to someone real quick. But, more than
Elseworld story more than can. Yeah, I can agree with that. At the Elseworld story, they're fine. Nothing special, but figuring out Elseworld story, they're mediocre.
Okay, what was I talking about before I left? I'm sorry.
I think it's Superman Returns, I think. Yeah, Superman Returns.
Oh, yeah, Superman Returns. Yeah, I prefer that over the real Superman 3 because it does actually follow. Like, it feels like a Richard Donner movie. I will say that. It feels like Richard Donner directed the movie. And and of course, unfortunately, Christopher Reeve couldn't do the role, so I think Brandon Routh was the best choice they could do.
Yeah.
But I felt that the Lois Lane could have been better in that movie.
Not to mention, they had to made you into Cam. It didn't really add up. We kind of like what?
I think it follows the Richard Donner cut.
It does sort of, but sometimes it kind of doesn't.
Mm.
I don't know. It's weird.
The Richard Donner cut I love, by the way.
I agree. Yeah, that is true. I could find out a good job about that.
Well, the thing is, like, at the most, you could still do like a you could do like flashbacks to their origin and just like doing like a short span of a minute. It's like people. It's like, for example, Spider-Man's origin, Amazing Fantasy 15. It takes like 10 minutes to read it. You didn't need an hour and 30 minutes to relate to it. But
that's why Homecoming and Far From Home ignored the origin and just said skip it. Which I'm fine with.
That's the thing. It's like he makes a good point. You can't entirely skip the origin because it won't work out.
Yeah, but Far From Home and Homecoming skipped the origin because we've seen the origin way too many times. Which I'm all for that. I'm still waiting for DC to Jessica on Kingdom Come into the movies. Kingdom Come, I think I can make that. Jessica God Among Us, yeah, about that. I think I have to go anime movie. Well, that's not true. In Jessica Come for anime movie, but only to do that, you basically adapt it and try to go very, 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 very all the way, basically. I think if you have the comic, go for it. But the game story is fine. It really is. What do you think? Can you think the anime can change at the god manga, or can you come into anime movies?
I honestly would prefer Kingdom Come as an animated movie, because Injustice is kind of already a movie with the story modes in the games.
It is.
It would be cool to see see it as like played out as an animated movie, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But if there's seemed perfect for me. Yeah, Kevin. I mean, before everything came out of Spacey was a good Luthor.
Yeah, he was. I can't be a good group, despite the controversy that's going on with him. I don't want to talk about.
It could add to the character. It could make him more evil. So, like, when you do see him on screen, you're like, you bastard.
Yeah. Well. No. Yeah, I think Sandy made to put up, but I gotta send that. I hope the MCU DCU equally, but I only just tried 4 movies. Well, the 4th movie for DCU isn't out yet, but all the MCU DCU is good. And Sony Universe Inspired was fantastic. I love the movie. That movie was on the best Spider movie. Well, purely basically, it's one of the best Spider movies in years. Oh, yeah, David Wayne, so I did BBS, and I love it to the story. They were tight. Fair enough.
Yeah, and also liked in BVS. Yeah. They actually
well, here's the thing about that. That is true, but about that, just you could have the prequel comics, but year 4, I would at the year 5. Oh, speaking of the comic, did that remind me? What do you think of Deceased?
I'm gonna be honest, unoriginal.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And holy shit, this story was epic. I mean, Tom Taylor had a great story. And this story did everything I want. It gave me a great zombie story, a great DC story. It gave me a great Elseworld story. This story was epic. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean,
like the body count, I mean, it's insane. But they haven't had a good hopeful ending, because it gave me the thing I wanted for years. Gave me at the my tenure John Gunn Super. It gave me a good game and win at the moment, and also. Yeah, I said has a bullet in my band. The great deaths, like Batman died in the prison, which is insane. Superman died with the president. That broke maybe no, that made me sad. Like, holy shit! This was such a great story. I can't wait for the sequel, Unkillables, with Redford. Oh, something about spoiler and but Orphan or Cassandra Cain. Okay, Batgirl.
I mean, I
Yeah.
personally I think the big reason because I felt DC did a zombie story. They did do a zombie story before, and it was in
Blackest Night.
continuity. Yeah,
Yeah.
Blackest Night. I felt I felt that was better because I don't know. It's just Marvel Zombies did it before, and I'm not huge on Marvel Zombies, and I know it's weird as a horror movie fan, but it's kind of just weird and unsettling seeing your favorite superheroes turn into monsters
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah. More Zombie, I thought was good with the first two volume, but then it went to shit. The man at the end, More Zombie 3 and 4. They kept doing too many sequels. Like, More Zombie went off the rails. Oh, right there.
What's
Right
that?
there. On the stream.
I didn't know you were linking me in.
Yeah.
Just doing my own thing.
Yeah, I just want to join me.
All right. What's going on? I've been
We're just talking about
I just got
comics.
done. Oh, okay. I just got done seeing Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, how was that?
What do you think?
Enjoyable. Very enjoyable. I know the community would hate it
Mhm.
because they'll find some other way. I mean, they bitch about prequel trilogy. They'll do the same with this trilogy.
Yeah.
But yet again, they'll love this trilogy and fucking kiss this trilogy's ass after it's all over. I mean, just
Give it 10 years.
Yeah.
Give it 10 years, definitely. Then after that, they'll do the same with this. I mean, the Star Wars fans is a joke. I mean,
the fandom is a complete minefield at this point.
No. It's a joke from beginning, middle, and end. I mean, they hated the prequels. They harassed the creator.
Yeah.
And now they're kissing his ass. And now they're going to do the same with this trilogy. It's just, I can't take the Star Wars fans seriously. I'm sorry.
Already they're kissing up to Last Jedi, and it only took like 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they'll find something. What's worse than it's like a trend now. It's just I don't want to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, what can talk about because I'm gonna see Rise of Skywalker this weekend. So
you'll if you enjoy Force Awakens or you enjoy the characters, you'll have very entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed both personally.
You'll be entertained very well. I mean that's it. And I'll say this: you'll see the most OP Emperor out of all the Star Wars movies combined. Like you'll see everything. But besides that, I mean, I am looking forward to the new comics out on Marvel.
Yeah, new Star Wars comics.
Yeah, not just that, but the Iron Man 2020.
Oh, yeah, 2020. That's coming out.
I really am liking that they putting what's her face Pepper Potts in her Endgame look.
Yep.
Rescue. That was really cool. For DC, I'm done with DC really.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like,
what do you mean?
Because I'm a guy that likes continuity.
Same.
Point now where I'm like, when it comes to DC, it really takes a toll on me because I'm the guy who wants them to do something interesting and something innovative for the universe. But since they're just catering to fan service and catering, and I'm talking to your freaking run, Tevya. I mean, and they literally let's wipe out. One thing I hate about writers is they get rid of the previous writer. Everyone said, "Oh, you got to respect what came before." Yet you literally erased what came before.
Out of existence.
Yeah, we were just talking about that because we were talking about how Bendis. Well, the thing is, I emailed Marv Wolfman. I was telling him I emailed Marv Wolfman. I was like, if I ever get in the comics and I want to do my run on a character, what's the best thing to do? And Marv Wolfman replied, he's like, always read the run before yours so you get an idea of what the character is doing.
Oh shit! I mean, that's exactly I want to do because I want to write Iron Man and let's just put it, I that's something I already knew. But what I want to know is, how do you get in? How do you convince the company to say, "All right, you're hired"?
Good question.
I mean, that's something I want to know.
Todd McFarlane said it best. He's like, work on a D-list character, and if you can do good with that character, good, and just like slowly work your way up with like more and more high-list characters.
So kind of like we're gonna
I
do kind of like I know Iron Man what D-list years ago, but then you got the aliens in the movies.
Pretty much. No. He was a B-list, Tevia. He was in a B-list character for a while. But there's a few D-list characters I would like to do, but it's like, yet again, it's just a good tip. I'll take that, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to DC, my biggest issue with them is I don't like what they are trying to do. Like, just erasing everything that what came before, and literally just let's pretend all the New 52 didn't happen. I'm like, no, it did happen. What's not literally, like, I like to keep things separate. I like to let's leave that era and go forward for the future. Let's respect the time periods and just like Transformers got rebooted, like a hardcore reboot, start from scratch. And they're not continuing what Unicron left off, the Unicron events, which was, and it makes me a kind of little dumb, but I enjoyed it. It's not the greatest, but it's just you got to read the tie-ins, like the Optimus Prime tie-in, the Transformers Until All Are One, and Lost Light. You got to read all the tie-ins just to get to see what is going on, because it's a massive event. And all that. But I'm excited for Terminator.
Transformers.
Hopefully it's better than Dark Fate. I wasn't huge.
Yeah, Dark Fate is so disappointing.
No.
It pissed me off.
Dude, I will say this, that's worse than Alien Covenant. I'm a massive fan of Terminator.
Yeah. First one's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I love the first two. The first two are really great. 3, 4, and 5, I like them. I enjoy them for what they are.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just, if you want to have an insulting film, go ahead and go have that movie. That is the worst movie of this year, in my opinion. It's just, it insulted the fan. I'm going to say this. I'm glad things that, and a couple of franchises that I like don't do this, like Marvel and Star Wars, and hopefully,
DC.
God help my soul, DC and Harry Potter franchises. I will lose my mind. I never felt so insulted by this film, like in Dark Fate. It's like, wow, I almost felt like I was watching a grave, just literally burying. I blame Tim Miller, but I hardcore blame James Cameron. I mean, I don't know about you, but
the real victim was Edward Furlong in this whole thing.
Yeah, Furlong got screwed up with the most.
Oh yeah, he did. But I mean,
it sucks.
I honestly like. I looked at James Cameron and I'm like, you lied to the fan. The fans. How can I trust you? How can I trust you with the Alita Battle Angel sequels? How can I trust you? And also, we don't even know how good quality filmmaking this guy is doing. Like, Avatar was his only project that he's making, and he's making the Avatar sequels, which we don't know a clue.
Maybe.
Yeah. I fear that he's gonna suck, and I'm like, oh I don't want to see. I don't want a sequel then if that happens. Oh, well, thank God Disney is.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't own it, but
I don't really want Star Trek because Star Trek to me kind of shot itself on the foot on terms of films. Because here's the problem with Star Trek. They started a reboot, and the first two films were successful, despite how people think.
yeah.
When they did to the third one, it was like, oh, let's cater to the fans because everyone fucking hated the last film. Oh, I love Lethal Battle Angel too.
So, yeah, look at it. Such a great movie. That movie is such a great movie. It's one better way
Read
it was fun.
I will say this: read the manga. You'll see.
Manga was good.
I am with you. I do know you guys are both fans.
Well, I was just. Here's the thing about that. I don't think Gargoyles would work in live action.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
But yet again, I'm like, we seen some Stranger Things. I'm gonna say this. We wouldn't. I'm gonna say this. Would all of us think a cinematic Marvel universe would have worked? No.
No.
So, yeah, again, if they put pitches with the right people and the right guys, oh yeah, it's way too late for that.
Just imagine if Tarantino directed a Gargoyles movie.
Oh,
like that would be one of the weird movies ever.
I say start with the original series down. Well, if it's taken care and if it does a really good job, then go for it. But I mean, I say anything could work. But I mean, my thing is do it with the right people. I say if you're gonna do a live action, go do it. But I would rather have a season 2. The original series, buddy. The original series. Start from the beginning. Start from the very beginning and down. Go from there. I'm going to get the manga, but
I understand.
One Piece.
I understand.
One Piece. I say One Piece is over fucking rated.
One Piece is good, but I do agree it's kind of we're not overrated. More like
it is overrated. The storyline is a fucking snail pace.
What
We're
is
literally One Piece. So manga series. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of that whole thing. I really am not.
I understand that.
But there's one thing I am a big fan of. I'm hoping. I mean, at least I'm hoping is at least Disney and the creators of the X-Men '90s cartoon show bring it back from for Disney Plus. Make it season 6. Season 6. I mean, yeah. What do you guys feel? What do you guys
I think that'd be cool.
Season 6 of the 90s.
I would love the season 6. I just, that was a really good cartoon.
Back in 90. Well, I mean at 9 times. I mean that's true. I think they ate it smart that they came back to Android animation.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I mean, it's not too. If you say that, but yet again, we all said that with everything, and yet we've seen shows that will bring people really interesting.
Young Justice came back, and that was huge at the return for all of us. But for me, for all the fans, we got that show back, and it was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I still think we could. There's always hope. There's always something out there that could bring it back and maybe bring other shows. And plus, Disney needs everything to promote the Disney Plus app to get people in. That's why the Mandalorian's coming in. That's why the Obi-Wan show, and that's why a lot of other shows are coming in. We need to put that in. We need to have more shows in the Disney Plus app. So anything can happen. And stop doing the SCW and woke crap. I mean, that really, look, you say that, but when you, that doesn't really justify. I always go
Yeah, what's that
political stuff. Like
stuff? That a minefield itself. I agree with Sean.
that personally, I'm sorry, that doesn't justify it until the person sees it. If it's
Yeah.
good, I like it. If it's shit,
It's shit.
I'll say it. Simplify it. Stop using words that it's like, oh, it's woke. What is woke? Oh, it's X, Y, and Z.
The
Oh,
whole
why did you-
terminology has been twisted and corrupted to the point that it's
But anyway. But I think personally, I do believe one thing.
Mhm.
I personally think Hollywood is screwed
Agreed.
in terms of like entertainment.
It's gone down in the past 10 years.
Hello, Johan. Look at the screen.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Video.
Yeah, what's up, man? But anyway, so I'm just saying, I mean, the whole thing with Disney is just they really have to pick their A game up. But also in Hollywood, it's like I've seen like a bigger problem with them is they can't make movies like they used to.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I mean, when you have the Falcon, the act, or should I say, my Captain America? Oh,
Captain Falcon, run!
I mean, I can't wait to see that costume.
Yeah.
That way.
I can't wait to
Oh,
it was
man.
epic.
But anyway, back to the thing. When he
Okay.
says you can't make movies like back in the old days, you can't make a movie like Halloween, or you can't make a movie like Star Wars, or you can't make a movie about or just any independent movies and be successful. It's very rare for that to happen now. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. We're gonna have to go. So movies today have to go with specific audience. Oh God, that's even terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Because now you are screwed. No matter what happens, you are pretty much forced to do something that you just don't want to do, or you just don't care for. You get what I mean? It makes things even harder. Put that shit down, Tevye.
I know Photoshop. I thought that was cool.
I mean, like,
I thought that was
Better than the costume in the 70s Captain America movie.
Yeah.
down. Like, I'll say this: the Captain America trilogy is the greatest trilogy of all time. It just destroys the Dark Knight trilogy. I don't care anyway.
No, I was just talking about from the 70s when he had that motorcycle helmet.
Oh God, that was horrible. Shit. But yet again, I mean,
When I first saw
Yeah,
that, I was
yeah.
like, is this a porn parody or something?
I mean, I like the Hulk show.
The Hulk
Very
show
good
is
drama
awesome.
show. Maybe I like the drama show in there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. I think my favorite version of the Hulk is still the Ferrigno Bixby Hulk.
Hollywood screwed, no doubt about that. I don't like too much older film and TV franchise or tribal Twitter on them. The Twitter 7 in general, that is a minefield in itself.
Well, here's the thing. I think today's entertainment is trying to reflect today's society. Like in the 80s and 90s and 70s, they were showing today's society as well. So it's like it is what it is. You just gotta roll with it.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's more forced.
It's a more
what it is.
overt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because movies have been
I mean-
political since the 20s. I mean,
Yeah,
you can either go with the
for
pro,
years.
you can do with the pro-capitalist movies, or some of the movies that were
exactly.
secretly funded by communists in the
Or
30s.
kind of
They've always been
like-
political.
Yes, absolutely.
Racist as well during the whole civil
Oh
rights
yeah,
movement.
exactly. So people say political now. I'm like, no, it's always like this. It's like I think it's shoved too much, and that
Agreed.
is the problem. The
It's just
problem.
more overt now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a minefield.
I mean, I try to watch. Oh God, I try to watch the Charlie Angels remake.
I didn't waste
Oh.
my time with that. I do it look bad.
I hated the first two movies. They were stupid and they were garbage movies.
Dude,
So I was hoping,
I'm
I was hoping this reboot would have been a really good one, or at least a decent. Oh God, it was. One thing I cannot stand is extreme feminism. That is, I'm better than you type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the worst.
When did I mean, to be honest, the only reason Charlie's Angels ever got popular was Farrah Fawcett.
That's true.
That is so true.
What's your opinion on Charlie's Angels and the reboot?
And I just don't care much for it. Again, I've only cared for it because hey, I get to watch Farrah Fawcett in her ass.
Yep. Well, tell me your opinion.
Oh.
Well, I haven't seen the new Charlie's Angels myself, but I have seen a couple of the older ones, including some of the original series, which is really good for its time.
Oh, it's a really great show. Great drama show.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the show. I heard the show is good.
I mean, personally, for me, I always look at the show as like, okay, you got 3 badass women, but you get to know them like they're regular people, but they're not sexualized. They're not sexualized. The whole thing, like they're really not, and that's just the problem where the movies are trying to make the women hot or not showing their acting chops.
Well,
When actuality, if you did, they're just terrible actresses. I'm sorry, not sugarcoating it, and that's why I think most.
Yeah, I also think a lot of it too is sort of like moving off one wave of feminism and then into the next wave, sort of like to try to promote it.
Yeah.
So where one wave of feminism, or if you were to say go to the earliest form of feminism, it actually did have a bit of respect to men. And it didn't choose to put them down. And it did treat them as equals.
That's when
Where
it was
today
actually for
we've
equality.
got we're the only equals in society version of feminism.
Yeah.
But then how does that work with their LGBT campaigns? Okay.
And
Does it now overrank that? Because of now they want to over politicize this and that over this.
yeah.
And then that becomes unbalanced and they create their own chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cormac gives a good speech there. He said, "Go being black machine. No, it's not. You always a second time director just fall back on them. People want to enjoy a film, not be preached or accused of it." Yeah, I agree with that. That is a good point.
I agree with Iron Knight. If a movie's good, a movie's good. If
Yeah,
it's
I
not
agree.
good, I don't care for it.
I don't care what apologies or that nonsense. Oh yeah, Toy Spy. I remember that show. Interesting. Yes, I want to do over time with them not. Well, like I said, I try to avoid politics. It's a minefield, and I try to avoid the topic. That's how
It is.
watching Beyond Hell. It's a mess.
I followed it for like 6 years straight, and it can go down into a rabbit hole of just
Yeah.
crazy stuff, especially with all the scandals and the conspiracy theories or actual conspiracies.
But the Star fandom itself is a minefield right now, and that fandom is split the pieces into Last Jedi. Even though Last Jedi, as a movie itself, it's fine, but as a Star fan, it's kind of disappointing to get Luke Skywalker. But it's talking today.
I mean, I'd say what I did after Last Jedi was I just took a step back and I was like, I'm just going to let everyone fight it out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do what the Roman Empire did at first and just watch the city burn.
Yeah.
Just watch the Empire fall.
The Empire
basically.
Yeah.
Well, when I first saw The Force Awakens, my first thoughts was, what the fuck did I just watch? What the fuck did I
Well,
okay. Then my next question was, where can I find this in the Star Wars universe? Do they have any information? And I thought, this has got to be something like from a friggin' Outsource or a multiverse around Star Wars. And that was the only thing that sort of made sense. Because if you remember, they did the Star Wars Infinities.
mm-hmm. I remember.
What's going on?
And the idea of the Star Wars Infinities is sort of like
Oh yeah, the what if stories.
the Star Wars Infinities. It actually did come out in a trade paperback or two in its day. And
Yeah, I
it
saw that.
explored like what if Luke ended up being taught under Darth Vader, who would sort of like come to redeem him plus Darth Vader as well. and then it was another version involved if it was Leia, and that was basically how Star Wars Infinities explored the Star Wars universe in sort of like multiverse type realm, and I think that was a great idea. If
it was really good. I actually really enjoy that idea. My favorite one is the where Leia gets kidnapped and Vader tells her you're destined to rule by my side, and he trains her and all that crap, and it's really awesome.
It's a very awesome story.
And Yoda pretty much steals the Death Star. And
Yep, that was funny. Like, that was genius. Like, I love it like that.
That was great. But anyway,
now, if Disney said that they took it from, say, from the Infinities, okay, that would make complete sense as to the direction that it has gone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it's taken it from that, even though, yes, they have altered 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
I agree with Comics Defender. He said a pretty
It
good
would
point.
work with the Infinities plot line.
I did want to go to just on TV. Okay, not sure enough. I know. I gotta say
I think
that.
they should push more of like the actual original female characters and like the spin-off characters like Supergirl, Batgirl, like Wonder Woman, or hell, Zatanna.
Yep.
Zatanna, I feel super underrated as a character.
Yeah,
I would say Donald Troy, but
Hell yeah, even Donald Troy
Donald Troy
too,
is
man.
fantastic. I love Donald Troy. She got screwed away too many times.
I mean, personally, the one thing I'll say about this, I mean, well, like the characters not given the good push that they deserve, because people are afraid now of legacy characters because they may be better than the original. That's just a goddamn opinion. Actually, not an opinion. That's a fact, because I've seen it so many times now that I'm like, why? I'm like, dude, it's just a story.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think one thing what you're saying is with Marvel when they changed a lot of the characters in 2015. I didn't have a problem with it.
Oh.
I didn't have a problem with it because it's like what Arnett says. Every once in a while, you need to kind of change up the status quo. I just felt what happened was they did it while the society, was just politically charged, and they did too many at once. They just changed a bunch of characters at once.
Which was a bad idea in hindsight.
It was like oil and water, it just did not mix well. Just society at the time, 2015, 16, and
it was a minefield. But
yeah,
to me, not all of them were bad. All of them were raw. It can actually do with X-Men. I love that series. That series was actually bad. One of the best movies.
I mean, personally, I'll just say this: one character that's super underrated, and he's an Iron Man character. His name's Jim Rhodey.
War Machine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
he became Iron Man in the 80s. Yeah, that's one of my favorite runs of Iron Man.
Not just the 80s, multiple times. He became Iron Man because Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, couldn't do it, or he faked his death and had a really good character arc with him as Iron Man a long time, and no one talks about it. I will say this: if Tony did become Iron Man again, people say it's a publicity stunt.
Yep. Which is really annoying.
That makes me scared. I'm like, what? Can't we retiredly old? How many times do we have to continue a story, specific character, if you're just going to repeat the same old stories?
You can't.
They were going to make a movie. Yeah, they were a War Machine movie.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
They were.
What happened?
They canceled it because they didn't know how to fit the story. Which honestly, now would be a good time. The whole storyline sounds perfectly now. He had to go rogue, and he had to go do something that no one else would. I'm like, gee, that sounds like something would have been. I could see that happening in the future MCU.
You made a good point with that because I feel like that the next big event in the MCU might be Secret Wars. Because think about this: in the original comic, James Rhodes was Iron Man. Um,
And like
And
Tony
yet-
said, it makes sense for Lloyd to take over Iron Man mantle.
and you had several different characters who were not the same characters. And I feel like if they do, it would be cool to see a good version of Doctor Doom on screen because
Yeah.
Doctor
We
Doom.
haven't had Doctor Doom on screen for years. Every Doctor Doom we get out of failures. Okay, to be fair, I watched the documentary with 90 Definitive for me, and that documentary was really, really good. I recommend you check that documentary if you want to know more into 9 Fanatic only. You can
Yep.
tell the story got screwed over. The actor got screwed over. Everyone got screwed over in that movie. You can tell that movie was made by cash grab. But then with the Superman 4 movie, Superman 4 movie was... Wait, was Superman 4 Superman 5? I don't remember. I think it was Superman 4, maybe.
I'm pulling this out of my long box here. This is one of my favorite comic books of all time, and it's 6 issues of this Chuck Dixon series just called Doom.
Doom! Oh,
And
Doom, that movie, Doom
Good
2099.
old Chuck Dixon. Love these Robin run.
Yeah.
yeah, he had a good Robin run.
That was
but
good. I ended
Yeah.
up getting a hold of the trades, read through all of the trades, enjoyed first to last volume. You can see what Alan Grant did with the character
Yeah.
of Tim Drake and the way he humanized him. He paid
Hmm.
deep attention. And then you had Chuck Dixon, which also paid a lot of attention to what Alan Grant did and
Mhm.
brought that character through.
Yeah, I will say 2 things. Number one, my favorite Chuck Dixon Batman story is Batman Legacy.
Spider-Man. Yeah,
He
Dan,
does.
I did actually want to talk about this. Sorry to interrupt, but I do want to talk. Speaker. Okay, Dan Junior Car. Holy shit! What epic ending! Dan we Junior Car, the final issue. Guys. Right, Dan we Junior Car, the final issue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I read the final issue.
Like I read it.
What final issue? Oh,
Doomsday
Doomsday
Clock.
Clock.
Oh yeah, speaking of Iron Knight, I wanted to let you know with DC and continuity, Doomsday Clock I think has actually kind of fixed DC continuity because issue number 10 has pretty much said for like the past 80 years it's always been one Superman. Like for example,
Yeah, no,
and
I saw that.
I think it's pretty cool because I can pick up a Superman comic from the 40s and like, oh, it happened. It's
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the idea on that, but here's the thing. It's more like, for me, it's like when you say something and then you backtrack it, that pisses me off.
Yeah.
That really upsets me
Yeah.
because I
hope-
feel like I wasted my time. Granted, like you said, like maybe it's just how things are, but and there's just one Superman and all that crap, and everything happened in a weird way.
Yeah. They show New 52, they show Rebirth, they show
But,
Flashpoint, Pre-Crisis.
I mean, for me, I'm always that guy who just likes to keep things separate, but that's just how my take. Maybe I'm just too much into the Marvel concept, multiple different versions of a specific character.
Mhm.
That's all good.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I'll just say this.
See in 2030. That may happen maybe, but we know it's gonna happen or not.
Marvel has actually spoken about it, and they said that they have no plans for that.
Which really
Again,
sucks because I want that crossover. Come on, Marvel, stop putting a high on. Get this crossover to DC Marvel. Jump John's up and open door for DC Marvel crossover. Like,
Well, since Joe Quesada's gone, there might be a chance because Joe Quesada kind of burned that bridge, if I'm correct, when
yeah,
he
you find that bridge.
said something about DC and it rubbed Dan Didio or Jeff Johns
Yeah,
the wrong way.
Yeah,
Alright.
But no, I will say this. I love how Marvel handles continuity, and I like how DC handles continuity. I just like it because both of them do it in a unique way. Some people prefer one over the other. I like them equally, personally.
I do too. I like
That's a
Marvel. I like,
balanced
I
argument.
like
Same.
I mean, DC. Like one thing I'll give DC credit is actually give Superman a kid. I mean, that's always a debate where can Superman ever have a kid and still be a superhero? And I'm like, that's a lot of balls. You actually did that, and I'm actually happy. I'm like, I'll give Tom King this. Too many Toms. What the fuck? One thing on Batman Gets Married.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
and having Batman lose his close enough to you could ever say a father, which is Alfred,
Yeah.
and of course Thomas Wayne is in canon, which I'm wondering how that's going to work in
Yeah.
the DC.
About that. Flashpoint Batman.
You know, the fact that he's stuck in the main DC universe now, that's going to be kind of weird.
Which is confusing because we saw him die in
Is he
Flashpoint.
gonna be an is he gonna be an anti-hero Batman where he'll cross the line and Bruce and Clark are gonna have to stop him because of that? Or is he gonna be like, or this is just my post theory, is he gonna be the one that trains Bruce Wayne to be Batman?
I think he's just going to be a straight up villain because
Yeah.
at this point he's pretty much just a cracked mirror version of
He's too far gone. At this point now, he can't be saved because he killed Alfred. He let Bane run the city. He used Psycho Pirate. Like, Reverse Flash brought him back from the past. Wait, that's it, I mean. How can we Reverse Flash bring him back from the button if we saw him die in the button? What? I'm confused.
At this point, it's Nick Nolte in a bat costume.
Yeah, it's confusing. But at this point, like Mr. Oz, the artifact said with the digital out with Bendis nonsense, Tom King, Father Batman, they took two good kids for the artifact and for Button. And now they're both.
Oh, what was this? Tom King's Batman was and that run, a lot of it was boring and trash. And I think personally,
I think the first 50 or 40 so issues were good.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're all. But my issue with Tom King is the everything after the wedding, after that whole wedding, after that build up.
That's what I'm saying.
And then whoops,
Yeah.
no, that's not the case. And then
I was
it
just
goes
saying,
to the Bane storyline. Go on.
The City of Bane.
City of Bane.
Never picked it up.
as I was telling Tevia, it just seemed like after that, Tom King just wanted just to pace it as slow as he can to just do his 100-issue run.
Yeah, he dragged it out like crazy.
Yeah.
He wanted to get that run, but the problem is he couldn't because bullshit reasons.
He didn't have enough story.
Well, no. That he also got his editor fired.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear
Really?
that.
Yeah, he did. He managed to get his own editor fired
Damn.
because things weren't going the way that he wanted it to go.
Yeah.
This is basically some common news that came up, not only on YouTube, but also I think Bleeding Cool covered it too.
Bleeding Cool.
Whether you love or hate the site. Yeah.
Rich Johnson is a joke. I would say Rich Johnson is a joke.
I don't read no comic websites.
But you did bring up something before, Iron Knight, that I wanted to sort of like readdress. That DC Rebirth didn't address like some of the stuff from New 52, but in fact it did bring up some of the stuff that happened in New 52. I can give you a perfect example just using the Super Sons. Because
what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm going to use the Super Sons as an example because it did actually bring some stuff that accessed, say, for example, the New 52.
Yep.
When John learnt about Damien's past, it accessed information not only from the New 52, but also from pre-52 stuff. Including the Robin Son of Batman run.
Yeah, hold on. Give me a minute. Fucking dogs.
It did. I paid attention to what I was reading there. And one thing that I really look for in comics is comic references, like direct comic references to where they're bringing their information from. And if the editor fails to put it in there, and I can see it's like from a certain reference, I will call out that as sort of like, or I will call it out on my reviews for not putting that particular
I'm back.
reference in.
Sorry, but I apologize on that shit. Dog issues.
No
Um,
problems.
Continue.
Pets are great, even when they're pain in the bums.
Well,
Anyway, I get what you're saying, but here's the like. Yes, they addressed a lot of things. They did a lot of things. My biggest issue is reboot something, don't go back to it. Like, I mean, I feel like that. I feel if you mix it together, it sometimes feels like, what the hell I'm reading that.
what the point
I mean,
of two? What the point of reboot?
Yeah, exactly. What was the whole point of that whole thing was rebooting it and going forward to the future, not bringing old stuff back and slamming it down in the new stuff. That's exactly how I felt Rebirth was doing. It was grabbing a lot of people liked and slamming it down to the table.
That's pretty much what they were doing. That was their whole initiative. Was like, we want to give what people liked from New 52 and what people liked from pre-New 52
Yeah,
and just put it
it's
all in one.
Yeah.
Both Rebirth and New 52 transformed to one. Which,
But yet
and
again,
that's not bad either.
when they did that stuff, they erased a lot of the stuff that was like set on stone for the New 52. So I'm like,
Oh yeah, because they already did a New 52, man. I know that. Because I know you were mad about that. They already did. Oh, New 52 Superboy. Kind of
not just that, but it's just like using, for example, Tim Drake. They got rid of the old,
New 52. They never hit New 52 already out of existence.
Yeah, they got rid of the old origin, and then later on they did a new origin for Tim Drake because Tim Drake in the New 52 wanted to respect Jason Todd. He didn't want to become a full-blown Robin. He wanted to become a Robin that's never been done before. He called himself Red Robin, and that's something I'm like, okay, understandable. I could see a really good logic on that argument.
Well,
They slapped the old one back in. And I'm like, wait a minute. So let me get this straight. You just pretty much said, we're just getting rid of the old origin just because we want to appeal.
We're getting a new origin.
So you're speaking about the Tinian run? In
Yeah,
DC Rebirth?
the Detective Comics.
Detective Comics, yeah.
I have to say I'm a little partial to it because my favorite Batman run of all time is the Alan Grant Norm Breyfogle run.
Yeah.
Because I felt Alan Grant. So I'm a little partial to that Tim Drake origin original. I'm a little partial to it.
I love the original order classic. New 52 order with it.
Well, I'll just say this. I'm more pissed off at DC for screwing up the Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, I agree. Teen Titans been fucked over ever since after the mid
2000s, and even before the New 52.
But after New 52 and DCU, which is even a mess.
I'll say this. I would rather read like the new crap that's spreading right now. I don't like look, we had a good lineup. We had a good books. Why change? Oh wait, I know why. Because let's promote Young Justice and the new Teen Titans TV show that's on the DC app.
Oh yeah.
And that's where, and I'm like, granted, it worked on the Titans book, but it suffered on the Teen Titans book, and I'm like, I got a little pissed off because I was enjoying both runs. I felt like it was like past generation and new generation.
Yeah, right? I both fantastic. I love Titans Teen Titans.
But yet again, I say this: Bendis is doing a better job doing a Teen Titans book than he is with Superman.
The thing is, you have to understand. One of the most successful books Bendis has done was Ultimate Spider-Man, and he's really known for writing teenagers. So it all kind of seems suited for him to write a book with teenagers in it.
Is it one of the remember comic that came out by Frank Miller are so insane, but with it's that long, but then Frank Miller.
It's only like 3 issues.
Yeah, Superman Year One was just weird, but then Golden Child came out. Oh, I want to talk about remember Golden Child.
I was going to.
I haven't read it.
I read it. It was weird. What the hell? That is weird.
It's supposed to be like, look. This is the Frank Miller Batman Returns type shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it is supposed to be weird. You're seeing, you're pretty much in a universe that is just most chaos, crazy, insane crap happens.
Yep.
and that
I had my boy John Kent, but not
What
my
comic was this?
Dark Knight Return to Golden Child.
Oh, that book. Well, at this point, I'm just kind of take Frank Miller's work for as it is, and
Yeah,
I just go, it's Frank.
yeah,
You know,
it's just weird. But holy shit, this
I
book
didn't-
was weird as fuck. I mean, like they made my John Kent into a Buddha. They made him a god who defeated Darkseid. With what? How did my defeat Darkseid? That makes no sense. Oh, I'll take the Trump allegory.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, the Joker's alive. How's he alive? Who knows?
I wasn't too hooked up on that because Frank Miller's known for that.
Yeah, it's funny.
I mean,
and that's my
personally,
known for-
I'm just waiting for the fourth Dark Knight Returns book.
I think
I mean,
Dark Knight is the fourth Dark Knight Returns book. It's
No, I didn't mind it too much. I like seeing Carrie Kelly as that woman.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. I mean, I love the third one. It was really good. Good pacing, good story. I mean, Carrie Kelly became Batgirl. That was really great.
no, Batgirl.
Yeah, I said Batgirl. Tell you.
Oh, sorry.
And it was overall fantastic. It's just that the problem is, that universe only goes so far until it just lands at it.
Run that gas, run that juice.
Oh,
wait.
I don't turn on Hulu because Disney owns it.
Oh, yeah,
on
the
them.
Animaniacs. Yeah.
Oh, Animaniacs.
Yeah, I think that's what Michael Bland is saying. If that does happen, that'll be awesome. I'm hoping that does happen. But it's like, it's like I said, Disney owns Hulu now because Disney bought Fox.
Disney owns them. I mean,
Yeah.
they're part of Fox, and I would love to see Animaniacs. I grew up with that show. That was a really great show too.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
But I mean,
That's a freakazoid.
if they're ever gonna bring them back, Warner Brothers is gonna bring them back in their own app, which the HBO Max, whatever.
HBO Max. It's gonna have Green Lantern. It's gonna have Doom Patrol.
Like all that crap. So it's ever gonna return, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But it's like they better do it on their own and just.
Agreed.
Well, the one thing I do want to see Warner Brothers do, and this is something I want them to do, if they're going to bring back nostalgia goggles on us, bring back the animated series of Batman. I'm just saying.
Animated series. Or bring it Batman Beyond. That'd be awesome. Oh,
Right.
speaking of Batman Beyond,
My connection went bad. So what were you guys talking about? My connection went bad, so I lost like a minute worth.
What were we talking
We were
about?
talking about
We were talking Frank
Animaniacs.
Miller, Dark Knight, and then we went to Animaniacs.
Oh yeah, I will say real quick. Yeah, I didn't mind Golden Child. I liked seeing Carrie Kelly as Batwoman. And
That was fun.
Animaniacs.
That was cool. But
Animaniacs is fun.
yeah, that is fun. Terry will become Batman Beyond again. It's inevitable because it's a story like they're doing with the whole mind guy went into another villain called Falseface. I think Falseface. Falseface was his mind, and now we got a new Batman Beyond. You got to count that one.
One thing I don't want.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. One thing I don't want is CW taking Batman Beyond. I would like to see them do Bruce Wayne, but I don't want them.
Yeah. That's how these games good.
Still think this ending would. What's happening on the Batman Beyond comics? I mean, we're gonna.
Back on track. Basically, Tony McGinnis, he lost his memory thanks to this new girl called Falseface. Took his memory, took his identity, go to Batman Beyond suit, new Batman Beyond now. It's a Batman Beyond. We don't know.
We don't know. Could it be? I don't know.
My case. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Go on.
Yeah. For what I'm able to say thing on my memory here, we're gonna find out. I think in March, we're gonna find out who's Batman Beyond because she's finding Blight, Okay, Terminator, like first villain.
Well, it better be a brand new character. I don't want like a familiar face. Like if it is a familiar face, you better make a good excuse why you're.
I am praying to God it's Bruce Wayne's lost daughter from Doomsday Clock. Yeah,
But yet again, like, okay. How old she would be? Very old at that point.
That's true.
I mean, and not unless she cloned herself, that would be fun. That would be funny. I think it no, that wasn't the case. 'Cause Batman,
really.
I mean, like he was already a fallen Batman,
Yeah.
and he's heavily inspired by two different versions of that type of character.
Yeah.
So honestly, take it for it or leave it.
Well, to be fair, I would say not more now. I didn't call it an epic event going on now. It's been amazing.
Here's the problem with CW's DC shows. They're too drama centric. Like I love drama, and this is the one thing that happened in Smallville that I think personally, true drama. They over dramatize the drama factor.
Well, it's DC meets Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, I got agree with that one. And I agree. They do drama too much.
And if they're gonna do drama, they have to make it into a teenager show, which they have. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like if it's got to be like a teenager type thing. No, these are like adulthood characters, and they're just. It just sometimes bothered me. Like, look, I love the love interest crap. I know they're notorious to do all that shit, but I mean, it gets stale over.
Yeah, I agree. It does get stale. It's not all bad. Black Lightning is a fantastic show. That show is awesome because holy shit, it's amazing.
Tell you how long it's good. You are phenomenal. It crashed and burns. Granted, Supergirl only crashed and burns since season 1.
Well,
I mean, like, great. Like I would say this, I'm a massive Supergirl fan, and I couldn't. I couldn't stand it. I really couldn't. I mean,
I gotta stand that.
It's not the Supergirl show that I want. Like Supergirl to me, I'll explain it. She's a woman. She's a teenager girl who lost her family, lost everyone she knew. She was told to do something, and Tevye don't show it. Just go along with it. Just pretty much with her cousin, and now her cousin's already grown up by the time she sees him, and she feels an outcast. She feels doesn't fit in the universe, and that's something I always enjoy about her because she, and this is the older continuity of the DC universe,
Flashpoint
did that, and and she was in high school. She was in this. She was trying to find herself. Of course, she went to a little bit craziness on that whole thing. But the problem is they messed that character up so much. And Superman's been a big part of that character. Now, granted, I did like that run over time, but the CW stuff got a little bit pissed me off. But I accepted it. But at least it wasn't shoved down my throat.
That one was really good. I do love that one. That one fantastic.
I actually really am enjoying what they're going on.
I'm sorry. I was speaking of Supergirl. I think still the best Supergirl story is Superman Batman. Apocalypse,
that's what Apocalypse.
Oh yeah,
the comic.
That's one of my favorites.
Because it's honestly it's one of the best Darkseid stories because Darkseid he's cool but he's kind of lame at the same time because they never do anything with him.
They keep actually messing around with design piss me off. Darkseid War had by Anti-Monitor. Then he died in Darkseid War, and then he became a baby. Okay. Baby Darkseid.
That was like a weird and interesting plot line. When I'll admit, when she came back, I was like, oh, okay. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Well, then before the Superman Batman storyline, the last major thing Darkseid did was get his ass kicked by Doomsday and Hunter Prey.
Actually, I got Final Crisis at the beginning of the.
Well, that was after Superman Batman.
Oh, that was Superman Batman. But then he built in Final Crisis, but then New 52 happened. Man was a villain. First Order was agree with. Look, I know you were New 52 hours, but New 52 agree volume 1 was. I don't remember it to do work, but Darkseid War was good, but man, it had a lot of confusion. What? Then Owlman died. Metron died. Then Dr. Manan, and that was the Rebirth. Then Darkseid came back basically, and what the Wonder Woman story with Zeus? That was epic. Holy shit! That was the main story when
That was really good. Besides that crap, there was not much to say. Personally, besides that, all that stuff. One thing I still am hoping they do, and for Wonder Woman, is they have it where she mentors fully on Donna Troy. They never.
That did happen.
Yes and no, but it's like I want to see she passes the torch on her temporarily, and she takes a break.
Yeah.
That's something I always wanted to see. But
I agree with you because every superhero pretty much has had a change in status quo, except for Wonder Woman. The last time they did it was in the 70s, and then people bitched about it in the 70s.
Yeah.
And that was the last major time she had a status quo change. So I agree with Iron Knight. They should give it to Donna Troy for a bit.
They should. Donna Troy should be going Wonder Woman. Like Cassie.
Personally, when I think of anyone that could be a true good candidate to be a great Wonder Woman, it's her. And I think she would be beautiful as Wonder Woman and be very strong. I'd also be well, should we keep her as Wonder Woman? I think most people would accept her.
Yeah.
As Wonder Woman. But yet again, I don't the internet. To me, this is one thing I hate about people. People just don't like legacy characters. They just want the same old crap. And this is why Batman and Superman has bajillion damn comics, and they never gave it to someone that it's he stays. And if you want to read Bruce Wayne's story, go read the other books. We're going to do the new story with this character. That's the one thing That's the one thing it frustrates me that we don't have a time point that passing the torch, and it's a very long status quo. And if they do return, it's a build-up. I'll use a character for example, Eddie Brock as Venom returning. It was such a long time for him returning. It felt very satisfying for people like me who grew up the 90s and grew up with the older formula on.
After Lee Price got the Venom, it was garbage. I hate Lee Price was such an awful character. What about Lee Price?
Wait. Are you talking about that one Venom guy that looked like fucking?
That's the card, the Darkness. Yep, that's him.
The Darkness guy. That guy. Oh, dude, I'm oh great, we're having the Darkness pretty much taking over Venom Comics crap. But yet again, he was a good villain. I liked him, but I just think now in comics take a risk, and this is why I feel like Rebirth took the safe bet on pleasing a lot of the older fans, because they mentioned a lot of the older continuity. There's one Wonder Woman tie-in book that she became a Pink Lantern. I forgot the name of it. The Lantern.
Yeah, I know what you. It's from
I think it was an annual or
an annual.
And they reference the older continuity. I'm and this is what I couldn't stand. I'm why are you bringing it? And I just realized you're doing it because you're trying to appeal the older audience, and you just lost all your bets because you tried to do something with the DCU. It failed miserably.
It did fail.
And then after that, you restart your just with DC Rebirth, and now I'm like, it kind of gave me out. And Batman and Tom King's run.
It was ballsy. I'll give it that.
It was ballsy, but it's just it kind of bothers me that you people like me just push over the side because reasons.
Yep. Scenario itself, that is a topic in general, but sort of like it's cheap sometimes. But I would tell you this: Joy that cut in with a big epic story all the time, and they're all doing with the best of their abilities. Yes, it is small budget, but you know what? I'll give them credit to. We did that story that we're never gonna see live action. I'll give it credit on that. But back on track.
Just out of curiosity, what did you guys think of the Alan Grant, Norm Brayfogle run of Batman from the late 80s?
I never read it.
Oh, dude, it's really good. Honestly, if you don't like the writing, the art of Norm Brayfogle alone is astounding. Because Norm Brayfogle really know how to do Batman. Here, I can pull the book.
What run was it?
90s.
The Alan Grant, Norm Brayfogle run.
Okay, was it in Nightfall or No Man's Land?
This is 1988 to 1991.
Because those are the only Batman stories I know.
Yeah, here's the book that shows some of the run right here. And,
Nice.
Hold up. There's Norm Brayfogle's Batman right there.
Oh, I never seen that.
That is beautiful.
I mean,
So this right here, this pretty much takes Batman back to like just doing like street crime.
Back to basic after Crazy Eminence.
oh, okay, all right. That sounds interesting. I'll check.
Christian Witt.
Like some of it deals like cocaine smuggling or terrorist attacks or
Yeah.
it's a guy who's like keeping people under a sewer captive.
Yeah.
And it's just one of my favorite runs of Batman because it is unequivocally Batman.
Oh, speaking about Batman, how do you feel about the reboot of Batman, the hardcore one with Robert Pattinson and what's his face?
I think Robert Pattinson.
The director.
Matt
Oh,
Reeves.
yeah,
The
the Dark
director.
Knight Apes. The Dark Knight Apes.
Mary.
I'm gonna give it a shot
I mean, yeah.
because
I
here's
think
the thing.
personally he's going to be. No, go on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Well, the thing is, like, history repeats itself. When Michael Keaton was announced, people were like, "Oh, this is gonna suck." People loved him. When Ben Affleck was announced, people were like, "He's gonna suck." A lot of people
But
liked
he was
him.
great. I get good. Ben Affleck was awesome at Batman in BBS.
Yeah, I know. But just let them continue. Go on.
Sorry.
Oh, that's right. That's pretty much. I was done. Pretty much. It's like I'm just gonna wait till the movie comes out to see his performance because history has shown. Do not underestimate the person who's playing Batman, unless they're George Clooney.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Fuck George Clooney.
Yeah. And when she's seen Teen Girl, I have not seen Teen Girl. I've not seen the movie, and funny, I didn't care.
What? Who?
Anyone seen Teen Titans Tiny?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I wait. Oh, you're talking about that one story.
The Ant-Man movie.
I saw it. I read it. It was good.
What, the Ant-Man movie? You seen it?
No, you the Justice League versus the.
No.
Oh wait. Oh.
Teen Titans Go.
You're talking about that crossover. No, I haven't, but I really want to. I really want to check that out. I will say this comes to their animated films. I mean, loving every minute of it. But I mean, I think with Batman, it's like I really want a hardcore reboot, and it's just. Yeah. I'll say this. I was one of those people that was really excited to see Ben Affleck's performance.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, as Batman in a solo film. But I mean, ever since he quit because reasons.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. All right. At first, I wasn't looking forward to it, but now Robert Pattinson I liked him a lot in different projects. So I'm like, he's a really good actor. Let's give him a shot. If he sucks, we'll roast him.
Yeah.
Well, Jared Leto his ass.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll roast him, and pretty much he'll never return. And Jared Leto sucked as the Joker.
That is
Yeah.
an understatement. He sucked the monkey's
He,
butt.
he. I'm gonna say this right now. I was so hyped for him. Like you wouldn't believe me when I was looking forward to Suicide Squad. Not only is that one movie that I was really looking forward to because it's one of my favorite underrated teams, but the Joker was just like, oh man, I can't wait because it's going to be a little bit similar to Batman Assault on Arkham. It's going to be inspired by that film. You had Deadshot look like he was black, point blank, and it's one of the reasons why we got Will Smith come in. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine, cool.
Just rewind time.
And then just see it just crash and burn. And I'm like, oh my god, this isn't Suicide Squad. This is Guardians of the Galaxy wannabes.
It's 2.0.
What is this? Some kind of Suicide Squad?
Yeah, it's been a rip-off.
And the whole music, I'm like, you're trying to copy Guardians.
You can't tell that movie was Bush and Peter by the studio.
Yet again, I blame this. And this is why I hate about Warner Brothers. You rushed a film that needed more time on.
Yeah.
So, the script was done in less than 6 weeks.
6 weeks before the third land, which I agree. He had it 100%.
I'm like, no. I'm like, no, you don't do that. We need another check. We need a reshoot. And oh man, it just when they did that and that whole thing happened, I was just pissed off.
Yeah, same. I think I
was upset, and this is and then Justice League came. Then I don't care. Like I stopped caring, and I started to see something a little bit similar towards Wonder Woman. I'm not impressed by it. The second film,
I think it was awesome. It was badass. You're Kingdom Come Wonder Woman.
I think it looks boring. And here's the reasons why. I'm like, look, I get what they're trying to do, but I heard some things that are very much spot on, and now knowing the movie just spoiled the big plot twist of Steve Trevor, and I'm like, let me guess, he's gonna. I guess you don't have to tell me. I know. Yeah, and that's what's upsetting. That I'm like,
how is he back though? I don't get how is he back.
That's my question. We saw him die.
You'll find out. You'll find out. I'm not gonna tell you, but I mean,
it's a scroll.
No, I wish it was. No, I mean, if it was a scroll, I'm like, I'll talk about Harley Quinn in a minute. But I wish it was a scroll because I'm like, okay.
Wait, does he have 60 days? Wait.
I am just let's say word. I would be less angry than in the film. But now I'm very angry at what they're doing. I'm not happy. I'll watch the film, but it's just like, what are we doing?
It looks like a bargain bin version of Thor Ragnarok.
I'm excited for Wonder Woman 80, but it was awesome, badass. But Maxwell Ward villain, that's awesome.
Tell me, let me say this. That's what I think they're trying to do, take the 80s type vibes like Thor Ragnarok tried to do. But here's the thing. With Thor, it worked for, I'll say it's the worst one. I'm like,
I got bullshit. That movie's awesome.
Dude, Thor 1 and 2 are chick flicks.
Yeah, well, I said the first film was okay. Like, here's the problem with Thor. I'm a fan of the Silver Age. I like the Jack Kirby and Stan Lee era. So it would be Donald Blake persona, where Thor was a doctor and all that stuff. They didn't do any of that. So I accept what they were trying to do. But the problem is what they're going for was not working in the second film. And it's just, I liked it, but it's disappointing. On terms of like, was it better than the first one? Not really. Was it? You get what I mean? Loki was standout. Loki overshadowed Thor twice, and it's just really hurt. Both
And
films.
in
Ragnarok, in Ragnarok, Thor shined for once in his trilogy.
Yep.
For his third entry, he finally had his moment of glory, and I'm looking forward if they're going to do another trilogy of Thor. Maybe he'll pass the torch
to Jane Foster.
Stormbreaker. No, not. What the fuck are you saying, Jane Foster? That hammer belongs with Big Red Bill.
I know.
But don't. Tevya, don't say, "Oh, if Mjolnir is coming back, if Mjolnir is coming back, which I think it will. I personally think she'll be the new God of Thunder, along with Beta Ray Bill, which personally, that's a good passing the torch to both characters, which I hope they treat it right, because I can't stand the MCU version of Jane Foster. She's a Natalie Portman.
It's Natalie Portman.
She's given. Well, yeah, that's true.
I'm not huge on her.
Yet again, I liked her in other movies. She was all right in Star Wars.
Yeah,
but she's just not a. I mean, she's when it comes to big time movies like Star Wars or Marvel. Oh, love that freaking run. Jane Foster Valkyrie was perfection. Actually, but I mean, in the Thor run, it was really good, and granted, I'm gonna say this: I'll never understand why people hated it. They established Thor will return. I'm like, wait. Let me get this straight, guys. You're hating on something because someone else is picking up the hammer. Yet you didn't say a word to Eric Masterson.
Yeah, when Thunderstrike.
Yeah, who became Thunderstrike, who was also the second person became Thor, and no one said a word. No one said a word.
Because Spider-Man, people were mad. I wasn't. I accepted Benoit Spider-Man.
Well, that was because that universe was dead. They had to make something interesting because if they kept on going status quo. Oh, that was good. At least I'll say that. Everything about that entire Spider-Man book series, phenomenal.
It's just was a mess, but the real Clone Saga was good. Open Clone Saga was fantastic. Then we got next to the Clone Saga with the Dan Slott one for the Clone Saga. That come on, man,
that was crazy. That was
why?
Oh yeah, because which to me it makes perfect sense. You kept on killing him, kept on bringing him back, and it was like, oh well, I guess he snapped. I guess I was laughing my ass off. I know a friend of mine just freaking hated that. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? This is great.
It was just weird when Peter Parker backhands Mary Jane out of nowhere in that saga.
That's 90 Clone Saga. That's from 90. We're already on.
We're talking about the
conspiracy. No, not
we're talking about. Yeah, we were at one point. We're talking about the old Clone Saga. We're talking about
the real Clone Saga, which is actually really good.
Okay, I hate the 90s one. That one almost ruined
90 in a mess.
The 90s one should have ended a while back. The biggest issue about that entire time period storyline is they milked it. They milked it to hell because Marvel was going
bankruptcy.
Yeah, they were going to bankruptcy, so they had what sold the most? X-Men and Spider-Man. They did that, and they had to do what was right for business-wise. It's like, what do? We either just stop producing this content and people just go away, or we continue it and milk the crap out of it, and it just let's just say shit just gets blown. And plus, they didn't know how to end it. They didn't know how to end, which I literally looked at them like, wait, you didn't know how to end it? Are you fucking stupid?
But the marketing took over the story, and they not watch this shit. They
let me go even further with it. I mean, I was a little bit like, wait, you don't know how to end it. It's more like kind of like that whole scene of Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord. I have a plan. You have a plan. 12%, 12%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I felt. Like, you have a plan to end it. You didn't know how to end it. Oh my god! No wonder this storyline is a lost baggage. I mean, I really think if personally, if I was doing it, I would have done things a lot better. But it's like I always loved Bendis's run on the Clone Saga or even the Spider-Man mythos, the general.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man.
He did things that I think personally no Amazing Spider-Man writer would have a pair of balls to do. Because I'm like, okay, you have Gwen Stacy turn into Carnage. You had things happening that literally
the
Amazing title would have ever done.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
exactly. So I'm like, personally, no one. Yeah, exactly. And it's like no one does a better job. And I personally think he got robbed out of the Amazing Spider-Man title. I personally feel he should have got the Amazing Spider-Man title. Granted, one thing I think personally he would have done is he would have put Mary Jane and Peter back together and retired Peter and have Miles took over. And I think that would be the biggest controversial.
Oh, sorry.
But I mean, granted,
I have to say my favorite.
That's just how it is. I mean, I don't know. Go on.
Oh yeah, send it pass. Would not talk about that.
Oh no, he didn't rape Gwen Stacy. No, she was just enamored by his masculinity.
Tanya, I want to ask you, what's your opinion on this?
More like that story never existed. I love Gwen Stacy in the Amazing Spider-Man comics.
No, that wasn't actually JMS's idea.
It wasn't JMS. Okay.
Well, JMS originally intended it to be Peter and Gwen, but then editorial was like, no.
I would love that. I think fine, but that, no, editorial fuck that story over. And then
it was Joe Quesada.
Joe Quesada.
Fuck him. I'm saying no, the JMS Spider-Man run is my favorite Spider-Man run of all time. Because it gave me my favorite Spider-Man story of all time. Happy birthday.
I agree. I love that story. It should find it amazing. One of the best Spider-Mans I've had in years. I miss people meant to be married. I keep saying that Marvel. Why can't you have people meant to be married? Yes, Superman. It's on John Superman. Despite Benedict, but why can't Spider-Man do with Superman? For God's sake, Marvel, give Spider-Man Spider-Man get married.
Because it's the whole point of reason why they kill off Gwen Stacy off. It's they didn't want to have Peter hooking up with someone and have a long-term relationship. Granted, they did tried it, but they felt like, okay, they did. Okay, we're done that type of storytelling. Let's do something else. And that's exactly
I miss Mayday.
I first that she's pretty much an alternate universe character.
That's true. Well,
same goes to Anna.
Yeah.
So personally, I don't think they will ever.
You're a Spider-Girl. I don't care about her. I care about Mayday. I care about Annie.
I like Mayday. But I mean, I'm gonna say this. I love Mayday Parker as well. I know everyone do, but I feel like her story already been told. Like I feel like there's nowhere to go with that character. I feel like there's story like she's got at least 100. She's got like 3 series.
Yeah,
pretty much.
The main Spider-Girl and there's Spectacular Spider-Girl, but then Spider-Man's happened. And MCD Peter.
I mean, personally, I was happy. I was at least like, okay, we're done with that crap. Let's just go with a new characters. But I mean, I just think what they should do is just do something that's interesting for Peter. That honestly, I don't think really they're not doing anything. Like I'm not a big fan of what they're doing with Nick Spencer on.
This would be funny. It happened.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. But I mean, but I mean, besides that, I mean, I'm kind of, I just want something a little bit fresh and new. That's all I want.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Only question, Eddie Cool character, but the point more with it mistreated bad dude, made it Spider-Girl. That would find out to come for me.
But one thing I do hope they do is bring back Spider-Man 2099. That's what I want.
I know.
They have brought him back, haven't they?
Yeah, they brought my
Yeah, but
2099 Alpha.
Yeah, I know that, but it's like ongoing series. Like I
Oh,
want a
ongoing
Spider-Man.
series. I agree. Speaking of 29, did you read that one shot Spider-Man 29? I feel confused. What did I just read?
I haven't got a chance to. I
read it. I was confused and lost. Like, what?
Oh, don't worry, I'll explain it when I'm done reading it.
Did you read June 2099? I read it one shot.
I haven't got a chance to. I've been busy with other things and life issues and other Star Wars crap. Don't have a ship for many fucking miles. Oh God. I'll say this. Gwen's already taken miles. Yeah. No.
Well, weren't they friends? Because I read a story log.
They're in a relationship, but they broke up because.
Oh yeah, that did happen. That would annoy me. Yeah, Peter is Spider-Man creator. I want Peter to return. His story, Spider-Man, one of the best book in Marvel now. Wait, the Marvel 2.0, I forget. There's too many Marvel now. Right?
I mean, I currently like the Doctor Doom comics going on right now.
Yeah, Doom 29 might be a good story, but yeah, they're only 29 Omega because I read it and wait,
it's your typical 90s Alf. It's your typical 90s stuff. That's why I enjoyed it the most.
Yeah.
I thought the story on that whole thing was. I mean, I just want the 2099 to come back, but it's in a big way, not a small way. The biggest downfall of the 2099 books was the 90s. This was the whole thing of like marketing, the whole thing of like they were going downhill. People were losing interest in the whole thing. It's just, let's just say,
I have never read Extra, Squadron Supreme, never read Sentry. I never read Moon Knight. Moon Knight is good.
Moon Knight's very convoluted, so you better off not reading a thing from him. Because here's the thing about Moon Knight. There's so much different personalities on him. It's just like, yeah.
I feel right. I gotta send it. Oh, time. I want to add time. Sorry, never got answer anything. What's your opinion on the whole my 29?
2099 as a whole, I like.
Yeah.
I think I think it should be. I think Iron Knight is right. They should bring back in a big way and make it as to what DC's whole Beyond thing is like. It should be Marvel's Batman Beyond, where like it's a mainstay series showing the future.
Well, they kind of did that in the Alpha, I think.
Yeah, in the Alpha, I think I did that.
Yeah, they show that this is the future of the future of the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
But yet again, they kind of tease other characters of like other events.
I know that.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I'm thinking, are they going to do what I think they're going to do, like a big civil war or a big war? Because they did show that there was a massive war and pretty much superheroes are type gone. And I'm wondering what they're going to do, because Iron Man 2020 is coming because 2020 is the next year later. So I'm thinking they're going to do a lot of 20s type crap in the future. So I think the Marvel Universe is going to be completely different. And I'm very, very curious on Incoming next week.
Yeah, Incoming. That's coming out. I think that's the next big event from. Well, the Incoming then did Empire, which is
it's the prologue of Empire, which I'm dying to see. I'm like, ooh, I wonder what's this big event they're just so cooking up to. I mean, Jesus, they're hyping this up like it's one of the biggest storylines, and I'm like, oh, it better be, because off of that disaster disappointing, dumb storyline, Secret Empire.
Secret Empire
better
kinda
make-
sucked. Ugh.
You better make something good in
Yeah.
the next event. And it's like, that's something I loved about Marvel. Like, I loved Marvel's events, but it's like a lot of them were pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I liked Civil War 2 before it went to shit. I loved Access because the whole event was, in my opinion, really great from beginning, middle, and end.
Yep.
Original Sin wasn't that. I didn't like it.
I haven't read it.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah, really-
more actions I've been that before. No, that is cool.
I liked because the reason why I liked Access is because they introduced Superior Iron Man, which I really wanted more from, but it ended too short. That's
It
the
did end
thing.
it with
Because,
you.
I just felt it was one of the best Red Skull stories in a while.
oh yeah,
Like the last time I liked Red Skull was the Cosmic Cube.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
that was
yeah.
the last story, but then he died in Secret Empire. Oh, we got Machine Man.
oh
Oh
yeah. He's one of the.
I'm-
He's going to be like a villain or something. Which I'm literally thinking, is he going to
Yeah,
be like
yeah.
Ultron? That's I'm wondering. Is that literally comes true? Because in the cover, that's going to be very interesting. Because if they're working for Machine Man, which is going to be very interesting. But also, I'm curious how Tony Stark becomes Iron Man again. Because
I
technically,
wonder.
he quit.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He defeated Ultron, and he just gave up because.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Hmm.
it kind of reminded me of the '80s where Rhodey was Iron Man, and he needed a break. That's what I think.
Yeah, not to get too off topic, but
Yeah.
just when you mentioned something, it was kind of funny. It's actually it's a funny. It all depends on what you find funny, but it's this funny story where a friend of mine turned 21, right, and so took him out drinking, and he gets so drunk he started throwing up, and he's wearing this white tank top, and I'm like, dude, are you right? And he's hunched over the toilet. He's like, yeah, I'm Wolverine.
Let's see.
That's hilarious. Wait a minute. This one I hate all the Disney. That's Marvel. That's Marvel Entertainment.
That's more animation.
That's Marvel Animation. That's nothing to do with Disney. Disney hasn't made a real Marvel cartoon show until now. That's all Marvel TV.
Marvel TV's gone. Thank God.
Yeah,
Oh,
Marvel TV
okay,
is gone. Like, personally, I'm kind of glad they're gone because
Same.
now, bring back Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Bring back something that we could like. If we
what with the X-Men? That show's fantastic.
yeah, that's true. And if they do all that stuff, I guarantee you people will owe Disney an apology. That's all. Or people say, "Oh, okay, just don't ruin it," or shit like that.
One thing I was thinking of is it's interesting, and I guess Disney Plus is kind of a spin-off of this idea, but back in early 2000s when everyone was trying to buy Marvel, Michael Jackson had an idea about like a Marvel channel, whereas like it was just a specific channel for like all the Marvel movies and the cartoons and all that.
I did hear about that.
I wonder what would have happened if he bought it and he actually made like that Marvel channel. Would it be like a huge successful channel?
Who's that guy? Is it a gentle giant height? Huh. I'll probably look at that later. Let's see.
Very
What the hell is that cover of Champions?
Champions.
Yeah,
I think they ended it.
Yeah, they did end it, but it's coming back for a type of event.
Although I don't know how I would have felt about Michael Jackson being Spider-Man because rumor says
That
that
sounds awful.
he would have.
I heard about that. I heard he wanted to. He was talking to Stan Lee, and he wanted to do it because he was such a big fan of the character.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Michael Jackson, but I can't see him as Spider-Man.
Despite that documentary doing with that documentary is a minefield. Yeah.
But I mean, personally, with the with him, like, I can understand the fandom in him. Like, he really liked the character and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I agree. He's not I would like to have someone else play the character.
That's
Yeah.
like me
I'm-
saying that's like me saying I want to buy Marvel and I want to
Uh-huh.
play Blade.
Yeah. Pass.
Oh fuck no. Uh,
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, one thing I really would like to see them do on Spider-Man, and this is something I really want them to do, is do a live-action Spider-Verse film, but set it up properly, like kind of like Avengers in Phase 1.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. X-Men.
I mean, that's what Sony could do. Do like a bunch of different little movies
Yeah.
and like culminate into one big giant Spider-Verse movie.
There's Venom. I just getting a sequel.
I always wanted to see that. I wanted them to do this with Marvel, and you guys can tell me this is a bad idea or not.
I mean-
So, I want to see a Midnight Suns cinematic universe. Like it starts off with like a Ghost Rider movie with like about John Blaze.
Thinking about that, we were going to get actually Ghost Rider TV show, but then that got.
But yeah,
canceled.
like yet again, we could still have that. We could have a Midnight Suns crossover event with
Yeah.
Blade, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, do like
all
a
the
Doctor Strange
supernatural-
movie. Do like a new
I mean-
Blade movie, a Morbius movie maybe. Wolfman by Night.
Found
and
it.
like a-
I found it. Outlaw. Finally, I found it. Here it is.
Yeah. So I saw that and I'm like, okay, cool. But here's the thing. I think the biggest shame, we can't do that team,
Yeah.
specific team.
Yeah.
Having Miss Marvel and Miles, aka Spider-Man,
Michael and Sam Nova.
and Sam, and yeah, aka Nova, because Sony's own Spider-Man characters. And I would say this right now: is it just me, or do you guys feel the same that Peter's story is going to get rushed because
Yeah.
that's
No way, doesn't try 90 pound of water shaking up. You gotta be kidding me. What?
What?
This is Robin War all over again, except for the champions.
I say my big problem with Peter Parker is like, for a while, I don't know, I haven't read a lot of Spider-Man comics in a while, but it seemed like for a while it would be like he would be serious and like be a superhero in his own book, but then in like when he's in other people's comics, he's just always joking.
Oh, my buddy said hi.
because you have different
What's up,
writers
David?
writing him. You have different writers writing him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Roger Moore, Squadron Supreme MCU, give them no. A Squadron Supreme TVC could be interesting, but I don't see it happening.
Oh, Tevia. Or Trevor. Yeah, Tevia. I want to show you this panel from Norman Brayfogel's Batman.
Nice.
That's probably one of my favorite pages that he's ever done.
Nice.
No,
Yeah.
And in here, there's probably one of my favorite Batman stories of all time. It's Detective Comics Annual #1 by Denny O'Neil, and this is actually a pretty cool story. So it's pretty much this Fables storyline where like this old Japanese dude gives like these people riddles to solve, and he goes to Batman and he's like, "Here's a riddle. Like in old Asia, they would trap monkeys by getting like this big blockade or something, put a hole in there small enough to reach your hand in there, and there would be a banana on the other side. When the monkey reaches the banana, he can never let go of the banana, therefore he's always trapped." Batman's like, "I don't know how that applies to me." Well,
Yeah.
later on in the story, he teams up with Talia to do some shit, and she gets
Nice.
injured, and she's like, "I'm willing to desert everything and be with you." And Batman's like, "If I did that, Talia, I would have to stop being who I am because you're Ra's al Ghul's daughter
Yeah.
and you're a murderer." And basically that's saying is like his obsession, his war and crime is that banana. And so
Yeah.
he's always trapped. He can never really be happy because he won't be happy until the day he ends his war and crime. And that's why I think Hush does well at the end of Hush when like he breaks all of Catwoman is
Because you can't, because you have to watch his trust because
Yeah.
she's going to hush, which
and it's not so much that he doesn't trust her, it's like he doesn't trust himself because it's in one of the panels and the second to last page he's like, "I'm not good at having friends or partners. If I could ever do it, I lost it the night my parents were murdered."
Yeah.
And when he says someday, he's pretty much saying, you know, someday I'll be able to trust myself to open up to other people, but until then, I'll always be alone. That's what the ending of Hush kind of said to me,
Yeah.
which is why I love Batman Hush.
Which the anime movie messed it up. But that's not talking about it. Anyway, back in comics.
I haven't. I read the not watching what the fuck I'm saying.
Batman Hush.
Batman Hush a long time ago. Great story. I'll
Yep.
say this: nothing tops him getting wasted on Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
That was the biggest waste of
Mhm.
time.
Oh, Telheim, I want to ask you, what do you think on Batman Hush and the anime movie? Telheim?
In the Batman Hush animated movie,
Yes, and yeah.
I totally enjoyed the Damian Wayne appearance because Super Sons.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I think it would have been better if they kept to the original
I agree.
instead of sort of like using the body as a plot piece.
Yeah, I need to go to. I know Demon 29. Oh yeah, I want to ask about it. I have a 29, but back on track. Continue.
What? Go on, you were saying, man.
All right, Tom, you were saying?
They were the main key things that sort of stood out in the movie of what I saw of it.
Mm-hmm.
That the corpse was basically used as a plot piece to get Batman into place. Yeah, it was nice to have the Damian Wayne appearance. That was good. Of course, the idea between Selina and Bruce was interesting, but it sort of hints back not only to the story, but also to what was happening in present comics.
Yeah, Tom King on.
But I think it gave a better explanation to where Tom King's is just a vomit bucket, please.
Well, yeah. I think that DC is going to the Dark Side War next, and they made the Dark Side War, but I didn't give it coming here just to be dark. But a few Dark Side War. But next year we're going to Red Sun, then Justice Dark Apocalypse War, and then finally the new Superman movie, which is a original story.
Which I'm gonna say this. I liked all of them, but I mean, you know, I haven't watched I've been behind of the DC animated films. Like the last one I really watched was Justice League versus Teen Titans.
Yeah.
That was the last time I sat down and watched a film. Before that was Dark Knight Returns. That was it, or 1 and 2, which is a very great film.
All right. Not comment defender. Thank you for joining us. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but we forgot that we're talking about the Harley Quinn show.
Oh, real quick, I forgot I had this. It's an unopened 1989 Toy Biz Batman. I forgot I had this.
Nice.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's nice.
yeah.
Found it on eBay. It was like 2 for 1. I have one hanging up on my wall right now. It was like, dude was doing a bid for like $20, so I was like, why not?
Nice. Anyway, back on track. I want to ask you, anybody on Harley Quinn show?
I watched the first episode.
I didn't like it. I saw what they were going for, and I'm like, I'm not a fan of the idea. And when I saw my favorite character, Damian, I love Dick Grayson. He'll always be my number one favorite, but it's like I really love Damian because his character is such interesting and his backstory is really awesome.
Yeah.
His voice sucks. He's too kiddie. He's supposed to act like a dick, but he sounds like a spoiled little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9-year-old.
This is where
kid.
Stuart Allen is sort of like a best choice for him.
Yeah, I agree. Did Damon Wayne seem more like a child, which I give that the point. But I know he feels more like then it's more Harley Quinn, so more like comedy, dark comedy.
Yeah, I know that, but it's like, I just don't like it. I'm not a. I like the kid that pretty much who is a brat, but he's also an adult in top of that.
Yeah.
Like he basically is a Batman in a kid's body. That's pretty much in a better words. That's what I like. That's what I like about Damian. Or he acts like an adult, but in a kid's body. And I do love the whole like him trying to find himself in the Teen Titans book, which was awesome until it got ruined.
So I'm glad you're going. Okay. Oh, speaking of Teen Titans, an old villain came back. I think got the Heretic. He came back at the Teen Titans.
Who?
Heretic, the guy who killed him, who killed Damien.
Oh, you're talking about that crazy guy. Oh, who cares?
Yeah, apparently he's back somehow. How's he back to life? Well, I just picked. Even though that makes no sense, his head got stretched. Charlie stretched his head off.
Probably they'll make some bullshit excuse again, like how did he came back and all that crap.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I
I
tried it a long time ago because I just couldn't take it anymore. I
didn't care. I stopped giving a shit because I'm like, after my book ended, after literally
After the Percy one ended,
After Percy,
it just fell downhill.
It went to shit.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm like, I'm gonna say this. I like Red Arrow, and I'm like, yet again, like when you think of like, okay, they're gonna add a couple of members like Red Arrow, which is Kid Fresh is the only character that's stuck around. And I'm like, and also another thing is like, they pretty much established that Red Arrow has the hots for Damian, which is like, okay, cool. I'm not really a big fan of it, but don't really care. But it's just
they sort of did the same with the Jin.
Yeah, Jen.
And I did not like that character at all.
Who's she again?
That 4,000-year-old genie trapped in a 15-year-old's body. No, I don't really approve of that. If anything, be thrown onto the friggin' Titans, not Teen Titans.
Yeah. Titans got screwed over the most. Like, that team got fucked ever since the Elder Crisis. Like, they shot Dicker in the head. They made... Oh,
go on.
Like, they shot Dicker in the head. They moved to Wally West. And then that team went to shit.
Oh, no. The only thing about that book, I'm like, well, technically, yeah, that is true. But, I mean, the only problem with it is Wally.
Yeah, Wally.
He got absolutely. The one thing I will say, I would literally argue with Tom King. As much as I liked his Batman run, as much as I will let go the bullshit he did in Batman, I will never forgive him on what he did to Wally.
Yeah.
Wally made no sense. And now I'm like, great. He's going to have a redemption arc and going to do all that bull crap. I understand, like, there's the concept idea of that whole thing sounded awesome, sounded interesting. But it's just, when you see him doing stuff that I'm like, he would never do it. But granted, maybe if you lose everyone that you care about, you would not care as much, or you would do stuff, horrible things. But that's here or there. I mean, I'm just a guy who likes the character, but it's just like one of the things I can't stand. It's just stuff like that happening. But I mean, besides, I mean, it is what it is. Just there's nothing else I could say anymore. I mean, hopefully we can get something better. That's all I want. I just want something improvement. Improve your mistakes, because
agreed.
I mean, that's just all the character now. Can we just improve the character and just go for it? And
can we fix him?
Well, don't forget the stuff that Tom King did, even with Nightwing.
Found it. I found Shade of Jump Chase issue 14. It's gonna have Sideways, Aqualad, Spoiler, and Red Arrow. Wait.
That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be interesting how they fit in the team.
Yeah.
What I have to say is, much like Jeff Johns, I think Wally West has been screwed over ever since Flash Rebirth.
I agree. Why would they fucking with the woman saying? I am really pissed off at it. They ruined why like stop doing why like garbage. Stop it, DC. Like you ruined my boy John Kent Super but we the Superman, and then you ruined my boy Wally. What's next? But wait, Batman talking me after the video game thanks to Tintin. Superman I got fucked over to defend this nonsense. Why was that screwed over? My Titans got screwed over. I'm rooting for all my favorite characters because nonsense. Ow. Like, I'm gonna check on my own rage. Like, suck all my favorite fucked
Yeah,
over.
the thing is, like, I like Jeff Johns, but it's just, I just feel like he wanted Barry Allen back so
No,
much.
I don't think so. I didn't definitely love Wally. It just Dan Didio hates Wally West.
Dan Didio hates any character that isn't the characters he likes.
Yeah.
I know that's weird saying. Let me try to explain better. He doesn't like characters who can potentially take the mantle of characters that he likes. That's what I meant to
He
say.
hates legacy characters, which is weird. I mean, DC used to do good legacy characters. They gave me Wally West at the for 20 years. They gave me my boy John Kent in Superboy, who my bad one of the best legacy characters we had in year and one of the best legacy characters in history, who I think says Superman ever makes sense. We have Connor Kent Superboy. We have Tim Drake Robin. Why does he not like it? I don't get the logic.
Yeah. And I do want to say this for the record, because someone pointed out to it a while ago. I do not hate Bendis or King or Didio as people. Because they can be pretty cool people. I've seen a lot of interviews with Dan Didio. He seems like a pretty chill dude. And I don't hate everything that Dan Didio has done. He's actually done some good for the company, honestly. But it is some of that stubbornness that has hurt certain characters.
Yeah, badly.
Yeah.
Which is really starting to piss me off. And I Junior Clark was a great story and but I have a wish it's been that story not gonna affect DC continuity. Which sucks because Junior Clark such a great story that should affect DC continuity like it's supposed to be. And I'm hoping it does. But I have a sneaking suspicion it's not gonna affect anything. Which sucks. Ugh. Tell him what's your opinion, Junior Clark?
Yeah,
Well, I'll get the. Were you talking to me?
Yeah, I want to
Okay. Of what I've seen of it, it would have been nice if it did sort of like turn up on time.
Yeah.
But considering the wait that we had to wait, it was still nice of it to turn up on time. Turn up, find out how it was going to end. One thing I was sort of hoping is, like in the story, that what was it? Mr. Manhattan might have been used, like in the Watchmen universe, to sort of like create their own metahumans.
Yeah.
Okay, that might not have happened, but the end was actually quite interesting.
The ending was great. I love the ending. It just,
Yeah.
I'm just worried Doom because it won't affect any of the main DC universe. Because remember, Doom was designed to affect the DC universe, like it was
Yep.
planned. But then I find that sabotage because then you actually sabotaged the book and delayed it, and delayed, and you're the point after
They had to restructure everything. They had a plan, and this sometimes like it hurts when you do an event and another writer changes it,
Yep.
and that sometimes affects. But yet again, it could go bad or great, regardless of what. But it went pretty well. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm hoping there's that one tease of Crisis where Superman has to go find Bruce Wayne's daughter.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm with you there. That'll be awesome.
And they have to go find Damian.
Yep.
Which that sounded awesome. Piece of the whole thing of whole point of view on Titans that was trying to do was is he going to be the next Ra's al Ghul or is he going to be the next Batman? Which is he going to be? What's his destiny in life? What's his life? Yeah, kind of, like what's his
That would be a cool story.
destiny on his life after Robin is going to be?
And you have John Kemp becoming Superman, like a Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I mean, who knows? I mean, granted, I hope like yet again, I really want the 5-year time gap happen.
DC
But yet again,
yeah.
yeah. because I think it will be really interesting. And please, DC, I don't need the credit. Just get Donna Troy, the Wonder Woman mantle, and I'll be happy. You don't need to take my money.
And give Warren White Flash. Give me Warren White the Flash. Give me John Kent. Well, okay, John Kent to say by 10 years old. I want that's the Superman can still be called good. Batman. Okay.
No. Superman could retire, and he could just be a mentor. Could be like a teacher to John Kent or Connor.
Or Connor. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I support that. In fact, here's my great idea. My idea is to have Connor Kent make a Superman, but here's my backup. Have John Kent say a Superboy, but have Connor Kent teach John how to become a Superboy, just like Connor the Connor. Boom! They're similar to your natural. I give my 10-year John Kent back. I get Connor Kent because Superman. Everyone wins. And Superman becomes like a father figure. Boom! Problem solved. Everyone wins.
We'll see how things go. I mean, yet again, we don't know for sure what they're going to do, but I am hoping they do it. But I mean,
I heard a rumor about the 5G show. Oh, sorry.
They do something because I actually really like a lot of their directions on certain things if they go what I really hope. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's just say don't put it. I mean, no promises. That's the thing. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
We'll see how things go.
Yeah, for better for worse, we're gonna wait till that happens. Yeah.
Something funny I was thinking. I know it's not even happening and it's impossible, but if Alan Moore was watching this, he'd be like, "So bullshit anyway."
Yeah. No, Alan Moore, you'll be mad about what I'm watching it. Which I get Alan Moore's perspective. He did get screwed over. I do have to respect that.
Alan Moore's lost touch on what he's doing.
That too. Yeah.
I get it. He made great stories. But the man has lost touch of reality so far. He can't see straight. The man, if you put him a ham sandwich over go on.
All of his stories pretty much, like, after, like, I want to say, what was the last DC story he did? Killing Joke? Almost 90% of his comics is just rape. You know? It's like, everyone gets raped in my books now. You know, I'm drunk.
Yeah. For better for worse, the guy is a good writer, but yeah, I think he got screwed over.
I don't even say he's like really good writer. He's just known for writing like a couple decent stories that happen to be character defining for certain people, like Joker.
We're destroying a gentleman, one of the best books you ever wrote, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, you're right about that. Sometimes that's actually real. I mean, granted, he was probably at the right time, at the right place, and that literally his books were hits. If he came out today, his books would joke. He would be sitting on the shelf. I mean, I want to and also say something. What's everyone's thoughts on the? Speak about something. I want to know you guys' thoughts on, besides me and Tevia, on the Marvel films and DC films coming the next couple of years. I'm excited for Black Adam and Batman and Shazam too.
Same.
I'm excited for the Batman movie. I mean, personally, I saw the Joker movie.
That was fantastic.
Movie, it's probably my favorite movie of all time because it's such a well done movie. I wouldn't say I related to it in terms of like I'm a psycho, but I related to it in a way of like, here's a man who's trying to be something and people push him down because unfortunately I've had experiences where a lot of people have pushed me down for stuff I wanted to do. And so it's kind of like, it kind of sucks.
I get that. I totally relate to you on that. Because, I mean, people look at you as a joke. If you want to be somebody like let's say you want to be a writer or this or an actress, someone, they will push you down. They will make you names. They will call it really dives into the human psyche, human mind, how a person loses his mind, and also just a realistic standpoint. And that's what I like about DC, where this is what movies they should do: make a realistic, good storytelling. But if you're going to do space epic stuff, make it very like that. Don't
make
bring
it
it
fun.
down to earth like Green Lantern. Cough, cough.
Or X-Men Dark Phoenix. God,
Don't bring that up, Tevye. Don't.
Oh, I saw it in theaters.
That movie,
I never watched it because
Don't waste
I
your
knew it was
time.
gonna suck.
It's bad.
your soul spared. I mean,
Hellboy 2019, X-Men Dark Phoenix, or Superman would be 2019.
like, okay. Here's the problem with I don't want to talk about that film yet, but I'll talk about it in a bit. But I mean, the biggest problem I really don't like is they try to ground the cosmic or superhero type characters. Like, stop it, Tevye. I'm talking about DC. It's not Marvel.
Oh, sorry.
Pretty much, I don't like it where they don't have the character, or they don't like characters like Green Lantern. They had like Warner Brothers wanted to be on Earth, like it has to be on Earth. Why? Why can't it be on outer space? Let's outer space. And if you're gonna do a villain like the Joker and do his like side like kind of like a realistic standpoint of what person would have like kind of like become or something like that. Like that, or and just do something really interesting. And I just feel like, I'm a little scared on the sequel because I feel like they'll ruin it. Because well, that too, but yet again, Shazam is like, we know it's coming, but it's like we don't know how it's gonna go. With like movies like Wonder Woman,
I love that movie.
Like, I really love Shazam. That movie, I watched it twice, and it's like really great.
That's on a Blu-ray.
I wanted to know.
First time. I'm sorry.
Huh?
It was the first time in a while where a DC movie was like fun. Because that's something that DC movies have missing. Is like actual, not cringy fun, not forced fun, but actual, just legit fun.
Yeah, and tell you the truth, I think Shazam is what like close. Like I've been dying for another Superman film because I feel like Man of Steel was great, but could have been fixed on sequels.
Yeah,
and I wanted to see like, okay, have Superman face Lex Luthor sequel, and have where Lex Luthor can't touch Superman or can't really like Superman can't touch Lex. But Lex can't touch Superman, and it's like have their brains like how like a psychic logical thriller type story where they use their brains to defeat one another. That would be interesting. Would be awesome. It would be something new and different for the Superman films. But I mean, I hate Jesse Eisenberg, guys.
Agreed. He was awful.
Are you talking about Mark Zuckerberg as Lex Luthor?
Yeah, him.
I'll tell you one thing I want to see in a Superman movie, and I don't know if Man of Steel really did it. It's been a while since I've Man of Steel, but I love like the bait. I forgot what did it. I think it was a comic. It could have been Man of Steel, but it was this part like it pretty much shows Superman's morals. Superman just goes to like this military general, goes, "Look, if I wanted to, I could take over this entire planet, and none of you could stop me. But that's not how I was raised. That's not who I am."
It's Earth 1, isn't it? Or Superman Secret Identity.
Yeah, I think it was Earth 1.
I think it's Secret Identity.
Oh, that.
Superman Secret Identity is an awesome story. I love that awesome story.
I love Earth 1. Like, my favorite Superman story, and I love it to tiny little bits, is for Earth 1. Volume 1.
Good.
It's a very touching story, and it's like it's a very good story in how Superman lost his cat, his pet, and he buried it in the moon. And I'm like, how sick that is! That is so sick and so awesome.
I love this story. Could be Superman Secret Identity is such a great story.
But also, I really hope they do for Black Adam. Is they, let's just say you see him become great, you see him a good guy, and then you see him become a villain, and then later on, Shazam and Superman talk him out of it because they kind of say, "Hey, you're a good person. It's just that shit happened to you. Bad stuff happened, and you get what I mean."
Earth 1. I get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A volume
But
1.
yet again, we don't know.
Volume 3, I think.
Yet again,
My favorite Superman story of all time is Superman Last Son.
Oh, Tom, what's your favorite Superman story? Tom? No.
Yeah, he's probably out somewhere.
Yeah, probably Betty.
When I say, I know my favorite is Last Son by Richard Donner and Jeff Johns.
That's right, that's right. My favorite is The League of Valor,
Right. Which volume is that?
Volume 4.
Four.
I do on Volume 1, Volume 2. I do on Volume 3 eventually. Also, Super Sons. Yep.
Yeah. I have a couple of DC books, but the one I'm a humongous fan is Iron Man. I'm trying to get the Iron Man books.
Yeah.
Iron Man Extremis is probably my favorite Iron Man story.
Mine,
That's good.
it's a great story. I love that. Mine would have to be Dragon Seed and Hands of the Mandarin. But besides that, I would have to say Armor Wars was a really great story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially where Iron Man goes a little bit paranoid, where he decides every single person to go stop. And then later on, he realized, wait a minute, what the hell I'm doing? Seriously, what the hell I'm doing? This is so stupid. It was like, I mean, but yet again, I really love the Mandarin Iron Man stories. It's just I'm a fan of those two characters, a fan of that villain, and every single Mandarin story, it's always exciting for me. I miss the days that we had Mandarin. I mean, in Iron Man. It's like I hated how he died, but just whatever.
I'm fighting the devil. Wait, when did that happen? When did I fight the devil?
You're talking about that one. Are you talking about Legacy of Doom? That was a really good one, Stu.
I don't know. He fought the devil in Triumph and Torment, technically. No, that's right. That was Doctor Strange and Doom. Sorry.
No. Well, the only person I know, like the only storyline besides that, like it was this another Doom crossover, which was kind of like a sequel to the first storyline that they're in. And they had to deal with Mephisto or something, or that. No, it wasn't that witch.
Doom Quest.
Morgan Bay?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, they stopped it and it went crazy. It was really good. It was really awesome.
Oh, Tom, you're back. What I want to ask you, what's your favorite Superman stories? Tom?
My favorite Superman stories?
Yeah.
Definitely enjoyed a lot of Tomasi, of what I've read of Tomasi. Managed to come across a nice back issue of John Byrne, Man of Steel.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Really enjoyed that. In fact, I enjoyed that more than Man of Steel.
Okay, I want to say this. Just one quick question on that. Was it a miniseries? Because I think I have heard it. And was the villain Bizarro?
It was several villains.
I read him.
Hey, several villains.
And the first villain, Hope, I actually have the trade paperback somewhere. It's an old 86 trade paperback, so it isn't. It's the pages are kind of yellowed.
Yeah.
That comes.
Something hard to come by these days.
Yeah.
Trade
But sometimes
John Byrne, Man of Steel.
The first issue was like pretty much him finding the ship, discovering who he is. Second issue is him going around the city. Third issue is Batman, him meeting Batman. And with Magpie. Magpie is one of the villains. So that's Magpie, Bizarro, which is, a clone that Lex Luthor tries to make with this Asian doctor dude. And then, obviously, Lex Luthor himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really good. They're making a new hardcover collection of John Byrne's Superman called Man of Steel Volume 1.
That's good. That's good to hear.
It's like $35. I pre-ordered it because
Damn it.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it because I got a pretty good paycheck, so I was like, why not? Oh yeah, I'm trying to get. I think is I have all my graphic novels in alphabetical order.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
So
Yeah,
I
my going my room right now, but I wanted to show him, but I had to move all this and yeah, that takes time. Sure, minutes.
and it,
My price. It's only 10 o'clock over you.
I have to say the whole '80s, like mid '80s to like early '90s, was like some of the best storytelling for Superman.
Despite Devil Superman still anyway, Superman story, Devil Superman anyway still all good. After that, it started to drop in my opinion, but the early 90s were really good.
I'd say the last good Superman story from the '90s was the death of Clark Kent.
Yeah, I had heard about that. Wait, I never read it. I think they're
It's
good.
like it's Clark Kent's old childhood friend. Um, his dad would abuse him because like, why can't you be good at football like Clark?
Oh,
And he's like,
God.
well, he's like, now I know that Clark was Superman, and that's why he was always good, and that's why my dad belittled me. Well, I'm gonna destroy Superman's life inside out because I know he's Clark Kent. So Superman has to protect his family while trying to take down this guy.
Damn it, dark. That's a big dark story.
It's really good too, and the issue ends, and it's one of the nicest ends of like a story arc. Unfortunately, it's out of print, but you can still find it on Amazon for like under $20, and it's so worth the read. I mean, it is '90s to the extreme with the mullet,
Yeah.
but it's still at base a good story.
I'll probably check it out eventually. But anyway, speaking of Superman, well, yeah, I did want to talk about this big Independence one. Issue 18 came out actually, well, not this week, it last week. And Superman Days of the World again. Here's my
Yay,
question.
real
Why?
identity.
Like, why are we doing this crap again? We did it before in Doom 52 in DCU. It failed. Tell me, what's your opinion on
Well,
this?
my big concern,
Oh.
well, the thing is, I wouldn't have a problem with it too much if it wasn't for the fact that he's still married to Lois Lane and she's still human. Unless he just straight up says, listen, if you even think about touching her, I will rip you apart. In that case, you could do a badass moment with Superman.
Yeah.
But I don't see them doing that. I don't see Bendis doing that. So it just kind of doesn't make sense for him to do it while he still has family. Especially with Ma and Pa Kent back. It's not the best idea to reveal your identity when you still have loved ones.
The question is, though, will Doom Jedi even affect Bendis Superman? Because I've been wondering about that ever since Doom Jedi ended. We will be a Montauk Kent back. We have the Kent Arm King. We have Will Johnstone. We have John. Well, John served leadership, but that's still trust me.
Unless Superman 19 is like kind of jumps forward ahead of time.
What? It does? Then what's the point of the review if we're not going to get a media fall? Why would we do another time jump?
I don't know.
No,
That's the only way. That's the only way I could see them doing it. Is like if Superman 19 does a time jump, but again, I don't know. Bendis kind of put himself in the hole. He should have just waited to let everything fold in.
Yeah. Tom, what's your opinion on this?
On Superman Truth Reveal?
Yeah.
Well, I actually covered a review on it under Fool's Gold on the channel. I did not like it at all. I even brought up points that even you've actually brought up on your own channel, like how will it affect the consequences in regards to John Samuel King?
Yeah.
And I had a commenter who's sort of like big into some of the Brian Michael Bendis stuff. That's fine. I got no problem with that. If anything, I like a lot of Brian Michael Bendis stuff through his Jinx World. Not so much what he's done through Marvel. I've still got to search through that. Then there's what he's doing for DC, which I haven't really enjoyed.
Same. Yeah. Well, Edgar, what's your opinion on Superman getting revealed?
I already said it. Besides Earth 1, I enjoyed the New 52 run on both Action Comics. At first, I didn't like it, but then I just grew to accept it because I can't stand what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
I love the relationship between Diana and Clark. I really felt like it felt natural, and it just was really good.
Yeah, that is one of the takeaways that kind of sucked when Superman Reborn happened was the Superman Wonder Woman series just ceased to exist.
I was fine with that. I'd have it with that guy anyways because I
You know,
didn't
that's
like it with him. But
that's
I'm
kind
glad
of a
you
fun
liked it.
series.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys liked it more than I did.
I mean, obviously, since I'm a Zod nut, I love the first volume since it had Zod in it.
Yeah.
So of course I liked it because it's Zod.
Yeah. Speaking of
I guess-
John, this didn't involve
He
me.
has a kid that has. He has a kid that looks like Vegeta and Dragon
Yeah, he
Ball.
does. That is funny. Like, I want to join. I want to see John at the end of Zod's kid.
But I saw that. When I saw that, I'm like, holy shit! Vegeta
He's
made
over
himself canon.
9,000.
I actually will laugh my ass off if that happened. If
Call
they
me-
ever did.
I guess you can call me a Zod whore because over half of my Superman books have Zod in it. I mean, the two Bendis volumes that I got, the two Action Comics Rebirth titles, Superman Last Son, Superman Wonder Woman, and I got this miniseries from Pre-Crisis. It's a Pre-Crisis miniseries. It was called Superman Phantom Zone.
Oh yeah, I heard about that story. That made General's escape Van Zone, and then he goes to another planet. And then,
It's pretty neat for a Pre-Crisis 1984 book. It's actually pretty well done.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, speaking of like pre-crisis stuff,
Well, post.
what do you guys think of the? I know it's another Batman run, but what do you guys think of the whole Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams run of Batman?
I never read it. I heard it was good. One of the best Batman stories.
How about you, Tellium and Iron Knight? If you guys read it, do you think it holds up?
I haven't actually read it, but I'd be willing to check it out.
Basically, the best way I can describe it is just imagine if Batman was James Bond. Like, this is like, the hairy chest. He's a swinger.
Oh yeah, people don't always say they can't make sure or credit because they're not human. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. That's bullshit. You can tell good story or credit because they're not human. It is a good story. I'm trying to comment. Yeah, Trinity would also love Trinity.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much the best way to describe the 70s Denny and Neil run is it's like Batman meets James Bond.
Yeah, that's pre-crisis, but then we have post-crisis at the credit nerves.
Pre-crisis stuff is pretty fun because it's just they didn't give a shit pretty
Yeah,
much. Like, we're just gonna do stuff and see.
So we're just gonna tell stories. I'm up for that. With pre-crisis, I mean, did give us a good story. Even if Silver was weird, it did give us a good stuff.
Let's just not talk about the 50s comics with Batman.
Yeah.
Jungle Batman, Zebra Batman, Rainbow Batman, Dildo Batman.
Oh, you're
Beef
talking
with my
about
mic.
the silliness that was out there right now, out there back in that time period.
Outright campiness,
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah, the stuff that nearly canceled the 2 books.
Yeah.
Quick, Robin, get my dirt pancakes so I could smash them in Joker's face and end this buffoonery.
Oh God, really?
Yep.
Probably something like that.
Evan.
There's a comic, Batman 66, where Joker has a boner. Well, the thing is, the word boner meant a blooper back then, so they're just using, Joker's gonna pull a boner of the year. Damn Joker and his boners. Someone did a drinking game one time with that book of how many times they say boner, and the dude was drunk like halfway through the book.
Indeed. Well,
I love your reaction. Indeed, he got drunk.
yeah.
Do you think that's what Grant Morrison did when he wrote Batman Rust in Peace?
Probably.
He just got drunk. He's like, I'm gonna do a crazy Batman story. I mean, I like Batman Rust in Peace. I felt like it's the pinnacle of Morrison's run. But holy shit, you have to really just kind of do the leaps of logic in that book.
Yeah. Grant
Morrison is very interesting, I mean, sometimes he writes Batman and he's good, very adventurous. Sometimes he gets very dark. That's my Grant Morrison impression.
Yeah, Grant was very, very, very weird.
Dude, you you don't even know the half of the weird shit he does. There's this like hour-long video, or it's like audio, and he's talking about like doing spells, and he's like, you have to write down the spell on a piece of paper, and you have to make yourself orgasm in order for the spell to work. So you could masturbate. So he's like talking about jerking off and saying the word or thinking about it and making the spell work.
Well,
And then, like, I think in that same video, we talked about how with Invincibles, he was abducted by aliens, and the aliens gave him this story or something like that. And he's like, I'm going to write it now. And it's not him being funny. Like, he's being legit serious about this shit. What's your opinion on that, Tevia?
honestly, I got nothing.
Yeah. So, I'll say that, Tevia. Don't ever, like, be in the same room as Grant Morrison by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do my best to save you, but I just have to know if that actually ever happens.
Well, if it happens, then it'll be a weird experience.
Just make sure you have your holy water, okay, man?
Agreed.
Oh, man.
Anyway. Anyway, I accidentally blocked someone by mistake. Stupid YouTube. Like, I'm gonna put a poo comment. I did a block by mistake. Goddamn YouTube and your bullshit with the comment systems.
Yeah, the YouTube has been back and forth with their comment, like how the comments work.
Yeah.
These past couple updates.
I accidentally blocked someone by mistake. Michael Bryan, you listening to it? I apologize why I didn't have me to do that, but my hand slipped by mistake. So, sorry, I lost your comments. Fucking YouTube and your bullshit.
Oh crap! In that case, I'm sorry. I was like distracting her if I was.
Yeah, that's okay, man.
So Tellium, how would you best describe like Norm Brayfogel's work on Batman?
For what I've read of it, mainly for the Robin trade paperbacks, which I picked up. They've got their own style to which you can easily follow, but you can also follow the side character as well. Such as when he was working with Tim Drake, you could see how he was working with the character, and also how his character worked on helping investigating their situation. That stood out very clear.
I know it's how the book I showed, the Dark Knight Detective Volume 2, is probably their best work because, as I was saying, it tackles a lot of serious stuff and it's solo Batman. And it's also the first appearance of Scarface in the ventriloquist.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed his trade paperback on Anarchy,
Oh yeah.
but I'd still love to know the answer. Who's his old man?
What do you think of Mr. Cadaver, the Alan Grant character, Mr. Cadaver?
Not really thought much about him,
Right.
but I totally enjoyed Anarchy.
Yeah. I always like, it's an Alan Grant story when you see Ventriloquist or Anarchy. Or Victor Zsasz.
Anarchy would definitely have to be a fave.
Oh yeah, I like Anarchy because it's cool seeing like someone conflict with Batman's way of vigilantism.
I know Andy actually came out in Detective Rebirth.
He did return in Detective Comics Rebirth.
Yeah, that was fun.
But I will have to say, like, regardless of the writing, say I hated 100% of the writing in the Bendis Superman, I do have to admit, Ivan Reis is a really good Superman artist.
Yeah.
That is
Like,
that
I
is
would love
The
to
one
see
good thing that
Ivan.
came out Bendis nonsense.
I would love to see Ivan Reis do some like a Superman story with, say, like Dan Jurgens or Jeff
Yeah.
Johns or
Actually, we all for that.
dude, or hell, do some like contract with like have Richard Donner and Ivan Reis do a Superman story,
I
like a
agree.
comic. Because like Ivan Reis, like I'm not gonna lie, he really draws a distinct Superman, and I look at him and I go, "That's Superman." My favorite artist obviously is John Byrne. I'd say Ivan Reis. Dan Jurgens is a good artist. Adam Kubert from Last Sun, and obviously Gary Frank because he draws Superman like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
And those 5 artists, I think they really, what's the word I'm looking for? They define of like the power and the presence Superman has. You know, he's he's someone to look up to. He's someone, you know, this champion of, you know, the world or the oppressed or whatever tagline that's been used since 1938.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to get deep and philosophical here, but that's just when I see it. When I look for a good Superman artist, that's what I look for.
I really always want to get into kind of Bendis nonsense. Like, you might say the only Bendis, the only one don't go at that stuff.
I mean, I just wish that he would have. I just wish that he wouldn't have stopped putting in effort after issue number 6, because I said 1 through 5. I was surprised 1 through 5 was actually not awful, but just afterwards, I just wish that he would have kept that same flow, you know? Or, you know, at the same time, maybe listen to the fans. I mean, I'm not saying listen to the fans 100%.
I'm sorry, I think he's scared for the fans because to me, I had the wrong reaction because I think first issue down. It's not good.
All right.
But he's afraid to do something great. Like, I know he can do it. He's just writing a story as he goes along. And I don't know when it's going to end, but, you know, once he goes, maybe we'll get a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's speaking a little bit. So, should we call it? Right. We're on to 3 hours.
Holy
All right.
Yeah, so, alright. Alright, you know what, we should end it. Then I joined a comic, trying to comic discussion. So, we got went all over the place. So, guys, where can we find you?
Huh?
Right, where can we find you guys?
Oh, no, I thought this was fun.
No, I know, but outro, basically.
So an outro,
Yeah.
Excelsior.
Something like that. Yeah, we'll be finding it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the webs.
You know, you could find me on YouTube and Instagram, Gavin_the_nerd.
Yep.
My YouTube channel's kind of dead. I don't really post a lot of videos unless I have the time and feel like it, but I always post on my Instagram.
Yep, and tell everyone where we find you.
All right, you can find my channel under my username, which I use on YouTube, which is Tehillim29. You can also find a link there also to my Twitter, which is actually Tehillim_29. And through that, we'll link to a couple of my websites, to which one is Rainbow Press and Comics, to which Tevier also participates and shares his articles on. And big thanks for the articles you've posted on this week.
You're welcome, man. Yep. And you can find me YouTube, Terry Spilner, my Twitter, my Google group identity. Find me on Flair, find me on Velo, you do a conversating one, and you do the Yeah, we're gonna go on combat video went over. So consider video my backup channel. It then goes out with Blair.tv. It's on YouTube, but much more easier with cobbler nonsense. Also, you can find the video on Baron. One thing, another backup channel in case things go south. YouTube nonsense. Long story. Yeah. Short version, due to conversation in 2020 and go about my video on those two platforms, get the cops and mess everything up. But that's not all I'm having. You can follow me on those channels, on my YouTube, my Twitter, my Facebook, Blair, on and join us at the next on maybe in 2019 perspective. That's not a bad idea. Maybe I could do my top 10 best technical words in 2019. Maybe that's kind of day. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. See ya.
It was cool talking with you.
You too. And broadcast. Bye.